I was like with my family and I just randomly get this call from Chris and I'm like, Chris never calls me. So I thought it was like an emergency. So I picked it up. He was giving me shit for no reason. He was like, why aren't you here? Why do you never call me? Why did you ever text me? He was like legitimately like, what the the entire day.
He was like, no, I always message Joey. I always, it was like, and then I was really, actually annoyed by it.
Yeah, and then it was really funny because the next day he was like, let's go to dinner.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Trash Taste. I'm your host today. I'm your host for today, Garnt. Joining me once again are the boys.
It's been a while.
It has been a while.
I can tell.
And some big things have happened since we've last met each
when
other.
were we last in the studio? That's a good question.
Don't tell them.
Yeah, they don't need to know.
Sorry, not to break your guys' illusion or anything, but it's been a while.
You know, we were traveling, I was cycling, and then Joe was busy getting engaged.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yes.
Yes.
I got engaged.
You finally did it. He finally did it. All right, so Joey, it's I've kind of like waited to ask him all my questions for like this podcast because I saw the news.
We don't ask as a friend.
As a friend, you know, I saw the news, sent the messages and stuff like that. Tried to ask minimal questions, but
I don't ask unless it's for content.
Joey, tell me everything, Joe. Tell first off, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome to the club.
Thank you.
Tell me everything.
Tell me everything?
Yeah.
When did you plan?
When did you plan this? How did this? Yeah.
What made you do
How
it?
long have you been thinking about
All the motivations.
this?
Well, the motivation was the fact that I've been with Aki for like almost 9 years. So I figured, you know, and I turned 30. So I figured like, yeah, it's probably about time I should seal the deal. When did I start planning this? That's a good question. Probably like February.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, around February. Like earlier this year, I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to do it this year. And then
Think about it.
yeah, I did. It was weird. I actually didn't really have like a concrete plan.
You
all
were
that
just
much.
like, I know it'll probably.
Yeah, I was like, I'll probably do it sometime this year.
Well, if you already know you kind of got to be together for like forever, presumably you can probably feel like there's no rush because you're like, well, it's like she's gone anyway.
I mean, we basically act like a fucking married couple already anyway, right? So
I got to ask, was there like a moment when you were just like, yeah, it's going to happen, you know?
Yeah, so so I knew it was going to happen sometime this year, but I obviously didn't want to just do it in like, you know, a random location, right? That doesn't mean anything. So I figured like, all right, well, if I'm going to propose, I have to do it in a place that's like memorable, but also like kind of unique, you know? So we were already going to go to South Africa, at Comic-Con Africa. Shout out Comic-Con Africa. Legitimately one of the best conventions I've ever been to. So we were already going to go to that at the end of April. So we were like, all right, well, it's our second time in Africa. And the first time around, we only just went to South Africa because it was our first time ever in the continent, let alone the country.
Yeah, it takes quite a while to get there.
Yeah, it was like door to door, it was like 40 hours.
Okay.
So it was pretty brutal. But like, you know, we enjoyed our experience in Johannesburg so much that when they decided to invite us back this time to Cape Town, the capital, we were like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's go. Let's go again. And then I suggested to Aki, I was like, okay, well, we couldn't do this last time around because, you know, we were just too busy exploring South Africa. So I figured if we're going to go all the way over there to basically the other side of the planet, let's try and kind of explore the vicinity. So we were like, all right, well then let's figure out like, okay, what other place in Africa are we interested in going to? And we had a couple of ideas. And then just as a joke, I was like, I kind of like want to see what Madagascar is like. Because one, I don't know anyone around me who has ever been to Madagascar.
Yeah.
And two, I fucking love that movie. So, so I was like,
I think the movie is similar to the continent. Or sorry, to the island.
What do you mean? It's a non-fiction, right?
Well,
It's definitely a documentary.
At first.
Okay, right.
You'll never guess where they end up. But so I was like, okay, well, you know, I don't know anyone who's ever been to Madagascar. And it just seems like kind of, you know, you hear about it, but you don't actually know anything about it. Like I didn't know anything about the country, let alone Aki. So she's always down to, you know, explore new places like I am. So she was like, yeah, okay, let's go. So when she finally said yes to that idea, I was like, okay, that might actually be kind of a dope, unique place to do it.
Yeah.
So we decided on that earlier in the year. And so I was like, okay, well, shit, I need to get a ring.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you went through this as well, but going ring shopping without your partner knowing is a fucking struggle.
Brother, I'll share my story after you share your story.
So, out of I basically was like, as Aki was going out, I've looked at a schedule. I was like, okay, she's out with her friends on this day. So this is the perfect day to go out and actually start, figuring out what she wanted.
Yeah.
And I always knew what kind of ring she wanted. So she always obviously was throwing me hints being like, oh, I like this particular gemstone. And it's this particular gemstone called Alexandrite.
Right.
Which is this beautiful, it's kind of like halfway between an amethyst and a sapphire. So it's this kind of purplish blue gemstone that is purple at first, but then when you shine a light on it, it kind of changes from red to blue.
That's cool.
Right. And it's this really, really pretty gemstone. So I thought okay, cool, easy. I know the gemstone that I want. Thank God, because, diamonds are expensive and Aki's like, nah, diamonds are kind of whack, so don't give me a diamond. So my wallet was like, thank God. But the problem is that, I don't know anyone else who knows anything about Alexandrite. It's the first time I ever heard of that gemstone, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going around to these ring shops all around Japan being like, Alexandrite arimasu ka? And they're like, what the fuck is that? So I was like, okay, well, I'm probably not going to get it in Japan. So I asked Luke, who's a friend of mine who's got married. I was like, where did you get your ring? Because I think his ring as well was a different kind of rare gemstone. And he linked me to this Etsy shop, which I'd never used Etsy before. This is my first time using Etsy.
I use Etsy quite a lot.
Yeah, and I realized oh wow, okay, this is pretty legitimate. And I found he linked me to this jeweler that's based out in New York that does these engagement rings, and I found this perfect Alexandrite ring. I was like, oh, this is exactly what I wanted.
Yeah,
and it wasn't too bad of a price as well. So, but I was kind of nervous because I was like, I've never used Etsy before, and I'm buying it from halfway across the world. So I really hope
this is my engagement ring as well.
And it's quite a bit of money to drop.
Broke up the Prime Day deal.
Yeah, legit. I was like, this is quite a bit of money to drop on an Etsy purchase. So I was like, all right, well, if Luke got it from there, I'll trust it. Luckily, it came out fine. But the problem was that I guess it got stuck in customs for quite a while.
Oh.
So it arrived, I think it was 3 days before we're about to fly out.
If they mark it as being quite expensive.
Yeah.
It's a lot of custom shit you have to do. It's so annoying.
And I was fucking stressing out because I was like, bro, if this doesn't arrive on time, then I have to think of a new place to do it. But thankfully it arrived and the ring looked perfect. So I was like, okay, I'll shove it in my bag and we'll go.
Yeah.
But then, I knew I was going to do it in Madagascar, but I didn't know where I was going to do it or when I was going to do it. I was just like, I'll find a suitable time. I'm sure there'll be some time that'll be cool. And we stayed at two resorts. One of them was this kind of hostel in Antananarivo, which is the capital of Madagascar, which is basically the big city.
Hostel? That sounds like a fancy hostel.
That's how I pronounce it. Hostel.
Isn't it just hostel?
Is it hostel?
It's hostel.
I say hostel.
That sounds like the French bougie version of that.
I stayed in a hostel.
No. It's hostel.
Hostel.
Put an accent on the E. Hostel.
The heck?
Or a hostel, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, hostels you share a house, right? Or rooms.
Kind of. Well, it was more like a, I don't know.
When we were in Switzerland, we stayed in a hostel, but it was we all had our own rooms, which I wouldn't really consider a hostel.
Yeah, it was kind of halfway between kind of that and a hotel.
Okay.
Because it's Madagascar, they're not exactly a rich country, so they don't have the big hotels.
Yeah.
So we got there and I was like, nah, this ain't the place. But then the second place we stayed at was kind of far off into the east. Yeah, it was in the middle of this random huge rainforest in Madagascar called Manjarano, and there was it took us 4 hours to drive out there. And there was legitimately nothing around it. It's just this giant rainforest, and smack bang in the middle, there's this beautiful forest resort.
Yeah.
And the moment I got there, I was like, yeah, okay, I think this is the place we're going to do it. So I was just like kind of finding the time, and I was gonna do it like kind of after like this nice dinner that we had at the resort, which you guys can see in my vlog that I uploaded. But then the moment we got back to the room and I was like getting ready to like pull the ring out, Aki was like, I'm sleepy, I'm gonna go to bed. I was just like, fuck. I was just like, God damn it. This is the perfect time to do it. It's like we just had a beautiful dinner and now we're back in our room and we get to see this like, beautiful night, rainforest and everything like that. And I was like, oh, this is romantic. This is
the lighting would be bad for the video.
Yeah. And she was like, nah, dog, I'm going to bed.
Was there any part of you that was like, I should do it at the dinner? Because that's sometimes a thing people do. But then it's also around other people. And I don't know.
No, I thought about doing it at the dinner as well. But I guess like, already from the dinner, like I felt like, nah, this is, I don't know. Like I had that gut feeling where I was like, nah, this isn't really the vibe.
You can always like tell with your partner a lot of times because I knew that, some people like being in like a crowded place when they get the engagement and, get the applause as well from other people. I knew like Sydney wasn't that type of person.
Aki's the same.
I knew she wanted something a little bit more intimate.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I was like, all right, you know what, whatever. I'll think about it in the morning. So we went to bed. And then obviously the jet lag was kicking our ass. So Aki got up super early in the morning to just like go out onto the balcony, just like see the rainforest. And I woke up and I saw she was out on the balcony. I was like, all right, this is the time. Like immediately I knew this is the time. So I secretly placed the camera down and then... Yeah, and then I proposed
to look over there.
I legitimately pulled the check that out.
All right. Moment to moment, what was going through your mind? Like,
okay, so
we were all cool.
I need a play-by-play of this because I have such a vivid memory of just like this is happening, and then it kind of just became a blur for me.
Oh, legitimately,
I thought I was prepared, but my heart was like beating out my chest. Man.
I mean, like, in my case, I feel it was like even harsher because I was doing this first thing in the fucking morning. Like, I woke up, saw she was outside, and my brain was like, do it now. So I was like, all right. So I immediately woke up and I was like scrounging around for the ring. I put the camera down and then I was like repeating in my head, like, okay, I'll probably like kind of do it in this way. You know, I'll do the classic look over there maneuver. Hopefully she falls for it. Otherwise it'd be mad awkward.
Oh God.
But luckily she fell for it.
Did you actually say look over there or just like, oh, there's something cool over there?
Yeah, because she was out on the balcony and she was bird watching.
Oh, okay.
So she had like her binoculars and she was, bird watching and, because there was like quite a bit of wildlife out and about. So yeah, I got out and I was like, hey, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, I'm just bird watching. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. Oh, look at those birds over there. And then she was like, what birds? And then I was like, now go. Got down on one knee and I legitimately don't remember what I said.
Yes, I'm exactly the same.
So many people, like when we told, our friends that had happened.
Yeah.
A lot of my female friends were like, oh my God, what did you say to her? Like, do you remember what you said? I was like, legitimately, it's a fucking blur.
Yeah.
And I mean, Aki remembers because obviously she heard it, but like, I said something, along the lines of like, it's been long enough and I feel like it's time and, let's just like seal the deal.
It's been a fucking while. Yeah. We should probably just get it sorted,
Yeah, I basically, the pre-written speech that I had.
True moment.
Yeah, the pre-written speech that I had just fucking went out the window.
Yeah. And
I was just stumbling on my words and then I managed to get something out. And then, luckily she said yes. And that's what happened. And then immediately after that, you can see it in the video, but I was like, oh yeah, by the way, I haven't told your parents yet. And she was like, what? And there's a good reason for that. It's because Aki, especially Aki's mom, is such a fucking blabbermouth that I knew she was going to spoil it.
She would spoil.
And like, I in my head, I was like, well, okay, Aki's parents, I know they like me. So I'm sure if I told them after it happened, they wouldn't necessarily be like mad about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the video you can see like I immediately called Aki's mom and she was like, oh my God, I'm going to have a heart attack. And, she was like really cute about it. And then I obviously called Aki's dad after that as well and everything was good. And yeah. And then we enjoyed the rest of our trip together. And we legitimately thought, we were like, should we let people know at the convention?
Yeah.
But then I thought like, It would be kind of cool, but at the same time, I kind of want to like enjoy just like the privacy for a little bit, at least for the rest of the trip. So we didn't tell anyone at the convention, and then the moment we got back, we announced it.
How's the afterglow after you did it?
Dude, I was on fucking cloud nine. Like it felt so good because like I knew she was gonna say yes, but at the same time, I don't know if this is just like my slight pessimistic side. 1% of me was like, what if she's like, nah? Like, what if? Like, it's not entirely, zero possibility.
Get to have a very fun and serious conversation.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be like, what? Turn the camera off. No, but luckily she said yes, and then we, just enjoyed the rest of our trip together to Madagascar, and
What was the internet like? Fast in Madagascar? I was just wondering.
No, it was pretty bad. It was really, really bad.
The whole time I was like, damn, can I play games there? Or?
Nah, we struggled to we finally managed to call Aki's mom in the video, but I think that was like the third or fourth attempt of calling, just because the internet, because we're in the middle of the fucking rainforest in Madagascar. There's like no internet whatsoever. There was Wi-Fi, but it was like fucking 1G. Like it was barely anything. We could barely maintain the call, but yeah, we managed to get it through, and and then we enjoyed the rest of our trip together. And then we were like, well, this is all cool and all, but let's just hope we don't get malaria from this trip. Luckily, we didn't, hopefully.
Was the hotels nice? I fucking love just being in a lazy ass hotel.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude. This forest lodge in Madagascar was just
it looked really cool.
Insane. And it was so cheap. Incredibly cheap. Because I later found out that
just gonna get all the way to Madagascar.
Yeah. Later found out that I think Madagascar is like the 4th or 5th poorest country in the world or something.
Oh, wow.
Like the GDP is like really, really bad.
I can't imagine there's a lot of industry.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure tourism must be one of
tourism is like
things.
one of the big things.
Yeah.
It's not very there you go.
Oh, yeah,
it's not that great.
Okay.
It's in the top 10%. But the hotel staff were like so incredibly nice, and just like the rainforest walks that we went on afterwards. We got to see like wild lemurs and just like all this like
lemurs are so sick.
Insane fucking wildlife.
And you saw King Julian.
Kinda.
Aww.
It wasn't the exact same lemur. We saw all the other lemurs, but we were like, Aki was like, "Where's King Julian?"
Where's King Julian?
And our guide was like, "Oh, King Julian's down in the south."
God, imagine having to like you have this amazing wildlife. People just walk up, they're like, "Yo, where's King Julian?" I want to move it. It's just like, oh my god.
No. You know what was really funny was that I'm sure like all the guides were like aware of just how many people come to Madagascar because of that movie.
Yeah.
Because the first guide that took us around, he was basically like our driver for the entire time.
Right.
He was super nice too. The first thing he said was just like, "You like to move it?"
They know.
Cancel the fucking vacation.
And I'm just like, "Oh, you're aware?" And he's like, "Of course." It's like, but half the people who come to Madagascar wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that movie.
including this man.
Including us. So unfortunately we didn't get to see everything because it doesn't look it on the map.
But it's huge.
Madagascar is
huge.
a massive country.
Yeah.
I actually had another friend who went, and I think he did a drive around it. He said it was like 12-hour drive from top to bottom.
Yeah,
okay.
the guide was
ridiculous.
actually like, if you want a full experience of the entire country, then they recommend like 2 weeks.
Right.
We were only there for 5 days.
Wow.
Boys and girls, may I have your attention, please, because this episode is sponsored by Vessi. Now, I don't know how many Trash Taste episodes you guys have seen, but you should know by now if you've seen enough of them. We, over at Trash Taste, absolutely love Vessis. I love Vessi so much, I wore them to Garnt's wedding, and I'm probably gonna wear them to my own wedding as well. You know why? Because Vessi is perfect for any season and any weather, whether it be rain, sleet, snow, or shine. You know that Vessi has got my feet nice and protected. With its waterproof technology, slip-on simplicity, all-day comfort, and durability, Vessi is perfect for any kind of situation. With its lightweight, breathable, and fully waterproof Dymatex technology, everyday comfort designed for city commutes, urban adventures, and travel, easy slip-on style for convenience at home, work, and on the go, plus its eco-conscious construction with vegan and PFAS-free materials. materials. Plus, you get a 1-year warranty on your shoes. Just from personal experience, Vessis have lasted a very, very long time, even if I use them every single day. Plus, you'll get a worry-free 30-day returns and exchanges. Plus, if you live in North America, you get free shipping on orders over $110. But even if you're not from North America, boys and girls, do not worry. You can step confidently into daily life with the waterproof, ultralight Vessi weekend sneaker. With a 1-year warranty and worry-free 30-day returns, you're covered for every journey. Discover more at vessi.com/trashtaste and get 15% off your first pair. That's vessi.com/trashtaste. Back to the episode.
Yeah, it's a huge fucking country.
It looks beautiful though.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. People there were super nice. The food was good.
Yeah, how's the food?
Food was interesting because because Madagascar used to be a French colony, so everyone speaks French, which is really weird.
God.
And the food is like it's this weird combination of African, like traditional African food, and with like a slight French twist to it.
Okay. Sounds pretty fire.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like the sandwiches there, the baguettes there. Shit. insane sandwiches there.
Okay.
I packed so many fucking baguette sandwiches away while I was in Madagascar. But yeah, really, really cool, really lovely people. Yeah, just really interesting like history behind it as well. Like again, knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
So just like going there and like actually, getting in touch with like the actual nature and everything was like really, really cool. Highly recommend. You just like the only issue I guess is that like you just have to be prone to just knowing that, because it is like a third world country, like you need to be aware of just like the hygiene and everything like that. Because although we didn't get malaria, hopefully, I did like come out of Madagascar with like this really, really bad throat infection.
Right.
Aki reckons it's because like maybe we went to like a pub on the last day and I was like knocking back beers. And our guide reckons that the glass might have been like not cleaned properly.
Right.
So I ended up with this like terrible throat infection where the first couple of days in South Africa, I just couldn't talk.
Oh, wow.
Because it was just
Jesus
like
Christ.
clogged up and really, really bad.
damn.
Luckily, I'm over it now, and then obviously we had to take malaria medication every day.
Yeah.
It just makes you wonder how back in the fucking day.
Yeah.
Could you imagine sending a random like British peasant to like just be like, yeah, just fucking figure it out, man.
Yeah.
They're like, how the fuck? How the hell did they survive this?
Or like when the French first arrived,
Yeah.
like how the fuck did they like figure that out?
I think Europe just trained us to be immune to like so many more diseases than
Yeah.
I mean that's what made us OP.
Plague.
Yeah, that's what made us OP. We just go to places and then we would bring the plague to them most of the
were a
time,
plague.
not
We
the other
were
way
a
around.
plague.
You know?
legit.
We had the natural immunity. You
Yeah,
know?
no, legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were there for 5 days and it was perfect. And then we flew from there to Cape Town and we were there in Cape Town for about a week.
Yeah.
My one regret in Cape Town was that I couldn't get to go see the One Piece location.
Oh, the
Was it One Piece
live action One Piece filming location?
Because the One Piece live action was mostly filmed in Cape Town.
Yeah.
And they have the Going Merry there.
Oh,
Like
shit.
the
Oh,
real
shit.
life Going Merry, which is apparently in some like film studio. It's like inside of a film studio.
Oh, cool.
And I tried so hard to be like, please get
Where
me
is
into
this?
that. I want to see that. But unfortunately, I couldn't get
Damn it.
a time to go see it.
right.
Wait, so how long did it take you to get to Madagascar? Because presumably you have to fly from Cape Town.
No, so to get to Madagascar, we took a flight from Narita to first Dubai. Which is
Emirates.
with Emirates, which is
Okay.
about
Okay.
a 10.5 hour flight, something like that.
That flight's
About-
like 11, right?
Yeah, about
it's like
that
10
much.
or 11
Yeah.
hours. And then Emirates does one flight a day from Dubai to Madagascar.
So you
They
flew.
fly everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of
But
ridiculous.
it was
Well, it's
interesting.
kind of like a big travel
yeah,
hub.
it's massive.
Yeah, but it was interesting as well because this flight from Dubai to Madagascar, it's technically 2 flights in one because
It stops over.
it stops at Seychelles, which is this
Oh.
like island resort in Africa, which I knew the name of, but I didn't know it was like there.
Yeah.
And when we stopped by in Seychelles, I was like, shit, I should have stopped by here. This place looks fucking awesome. Because like I think like 90% of the flight got off at Seychelles. And it was like Aki, myself, and maybe like 3 other people that got off at Antananarivo.
Like, damn, they should have made a movie here.
Yeah. I was like, where's the Madagascar sequel where they go to Seychelles? So so if we end up going back to South Africa, which we might, honestly, because we love that convention so fucking much, might go to Seychelles.
Nice.
Damn.
It's a pretty dope place. But yeah, highly recommend Madagascar. Really, really cool. Just such a unique experience.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm glad I went there. And now it's like,
Oh my
And
god!
now it's
Seychelles
like a
looks
core
amazing.
memory.
now it's a core memory.
Because
Fuck, the Seychelles looks great.
Yeah, I know.
Holy
It's
shit.
really, it's apparently, we were asking the guide about Seychelles because we knew nothing about it. And they were like,
Yeah.
yeah, Seychelles and Mauritius, which is another
No, Mauritius.
island country off the coast of Africa, are like two really, really popular honeymoon destinations
Yeah,
for a lot of
Mauritius
South
is very-
Africans. Yeah.
very-
well, there's a
So there's an idea.
well, there's an idea for your honeymoon.
There's an idea for a honeymoon if we go to
Yeah,
Seychelles.
18-hour flight.
It's
Oh
only an
my
18-hour
God.
flight, guys.
Yeah, not bad, not too bad.
But also,
my
another great thing about Madagascar was that, I mean, obviously, everything was so fucking cheap.
Yeah,
Like, I remember we went to this, like, really, really nice bakery in Antananarivo, and I had the biggest fucking baguette sandwich that I've ever had in my life. It was legitimately, like, half a
base.
baguette,
yeah.
and I paid for it, and I was like, oh, it's, like, $3.
It's fucked
And
up.
I'm just
Yep.
like, that's so fucked up. Do you know how much this baguette would be in
fucked up.
Japan?
Bro, you can't even get a baguette.
You can't
that
even
big.
get a
Yeah.
baguette in Japan.
And it tastes bad.
Yeah,
Forget Japan.
exactly.
What about America?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
This thing would be like $25.
Can't even get an egg for that
you'd
price.
you'd have to Clara that shit and pay it in installments.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
You can't even buy it up front. Oh my god, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So
Fuck, I want to go so bad. Every time I think about going to these places and then I see there's like 3 layovers, I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, look, like we went with business, but you know, it was still a long.
and you
long
had a
flight.
convention to go to as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
so
exactly.
you had a final destination.
Yeah, and the convention was super fucking.
I don't
nice.
know why. Like taking a flight, I'm like, easiest thing in my life.
Mm.
Taking 2 flights in one row, I'm like, okay. And then when it's like you're gonna for layover twice, I'm like, I'm just gonna kill myself.
Yeah.
I like layovers.
Fuck, what? I hate layovers.
I don't know. It just breaks it up because I don't know. Being on a flight for longer than like 12 hours, I'm like, I start to get like,
Yeah, 'cause-
I need to go. I need to walk. I need to get out. And
we were
walk.
discussing, and I realized that Garnt, when he goes to the UK, he prefers to do the layover route.
Yeah,
right.
And I prefer to do the direct one, which
Yeah.
is like a 14-hour flight
Yeah.
direct to the UK. And I'm like, why would you want to?
No, I think I'm on your
Why
side.
would you want a layover?
Yeah,
I just like the break in between. I don't know.
What? Nah, because I'm like chilling, and then I don't want to have to like because then you have to be alert and awake when you go through the airport, right? Because there's security and stuff, and like I have to completely wake up basically for
Yeah.
that, and then I have to get comfortable again on the flight, and then plan out how I'm gonna.
Also, I feel like I've conditioned myself to be like, the moment I get off a flight is where I'm at my destination.
Yeah.
So when I get off the flight and I'm not at a destination,
sucks.
then my brain is just like,
Although I don't mind if it's like the
Nah.
first leg is like 1 hour. If it's like a 1 hour flight and
Yeah.
up, down, like whatever, because it doesn't
Yeah.
even count. I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But if it's like a 12 hour into the 1 hour layover, that fucking sucks.
yeah. For us, it was a 12-hour flight to a 3-hour layover and then another 11-hour flight.
At least at that
With a
point, I'm-
slight stop at Seychelles.
Yeah,
So
but
technically
you're
two
doing like
layovers.
circadian rhythm shit at that point. You know what I mean?
No,
No,
legit.
I don't know. I just if I'm in like sitting in one place for too long, I just start getting like real stir crazy. And even with like a comfortable seat, I can't sit down my ass for that long without needing to just get up and walk and just do something, even if it throws off the rhythm a bit. Because I kind of like treat a long flights as a mini vacation in itself, where I'm just like out of contact of the world. I kind of I like traveling sometimes just because it's my excuse not to think about work. I don't know how your brains are wired, but
no,
I'm
I
like,
like it.
damn, I can just watch and marathon everything I want to do. This is great. I don't have
Yeah.
to worry about work emails. It's my
This time,
Yeah.
I want to bring like a HDMI cable because the seats always have HDMI cables now. So I want to bring one and kind of do
Yeah,
a gaming setup.
I bought a Kindle for this trip because
Yeah.
I was like, we already have so much luggage and I don't want to have to lug around like a bunch of books.
Yeah.
So I finally bought one. And I've always been like weirdly kind of a hater of the Kindle.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because like when I don't know about you guys, but I know with you, but because you don't
No,
read.
I like the book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the physical page turn.
yeah.
So when I saw like my sister like being like, you got to get a Kindle, it's like the best purchase I ever made. I was like, whatever, bro. It's a fucking screen. I don't want to read on a screen. But then when I actually bought the Kindle and used it on this flight, I was like, all right, I'm converted. Like this thing is kind of goated.
I mean, it's kind of convenient,
Super convenient. I
Yeah.
read like 4 manga series on the flight, and I was like,
Oh,
wow, this would have been an absolute nightmare if I had it in physical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So second question. Did Aki know?
What?
Did Aki know
That I was gonna propose?
Yeah.
She had an inkling. The thing is
Rather,
that
she knew.
Yeah,
She,
no,
let's,
she
let's,
knew.
let's be
How did
real.
she know?
I think okay, so here's the thing is that like she told me like a little bit later when we got back that
Yeah.
apparently she thought I think in about 3 separate occasions that I was going to propose to her.
Well, that's the
That's the worst part about it.
Yeah.
That's the technique, because now hearing this story, you didn't know when you were going to
Yeah.
propose. So if you just confuse yourself, you confuse your target as well.
Exactly. It's like last the first time she thought was I think it was last year. We took a trip to Hiroshima.
Yeah.
And we went to Miyajima because we'd never been to Miyajima and I'd always wanted to go.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, just the 2 of us haven't really been on like a vacation in Japan for a long time.
She thought that's when you were going to propose.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
when she saw the hotel that I was booking in Miyajima, she was like, I legitimately thought you were going to propose to me there. And I was like,
Nah,
brother,
bitch, I'm just rich. I'm kidding.
I just got the bags.
Sorry, I'm
just
referring Jack as a bitch.
Yeah,
I apologize. I don't know.
I got the bands. I'm trying to give you a good time, dog.
Hope that's an out of clip context. Out of context clip or something at least.
Yeah, so she was like, I legitimately thought you were going to propose to me then. I was like, motherfucker, it wasn't even on my mind. I just wanted to have a good ass time with
You
you.
know the amount of money I saved on that diamond ring?
Exactly.
We're going to 15 resorts.
Exactly.
I am so jealous. And have I ever talked about my proposal story on this podcast?
Yeah.
I think you have, yeah.
Yeah.
About how it was a disaster.
It was-
not a
it was a-
disaster with an asterisk.
Disaster with an
Yeah.
asterisk, where it still went right at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But Sydney knew immediately.
That's fair.
And I think the second thing I kind of missed, which you explained, where you you didn't tell the parents till after the fact.
Yeah.
I had almost like the opposite experience where, because Sydney's parents are very traditional parents, I wanted to ask for her father's permission before the proposal.
For sure, yeah.
Because of us living abroad and us, not having a lot of opportunities to meet each other, I wanted to do it in person. So
Sure.
I planned this proposal fucking like months and months in advance. I think I knew I was going to propose April 2019 on her birthday, because I was like, that was it. So I made up my mind like fucking ages ago. But I wanted, when I asked her parents' permission, I wanted to do it, okay, old-fashioned way, in person. I feel like that it just means more to them. I could do it in call and they'd be fine with that, but I feel like it would mean more to them if we do it in person. But most of the time, I'm only in America for one time in the year.
Yeah.
Right? And the previous year, that year, it was August. So basically, I would be asking her father's permission in August and then planning to do it in April of next year.
really
Yeah, right.
That's a very long time.
Sure.
So I did make it known. I did make it known that it would be a while before I was going to do proposal, but I explained that I wanted to ask her, your permission in person.
Sure.
It was, teared up, we hugged, and it was very, very beautiful moment. What I didn't know was we would suddenly decide to visit her family that Christmas that year, which wasn't in the books when I planned it out.
I'm still good for it. I'm good for it, Dad. I promise. Let me cook.
Let me cook, Dad.
I just remember.
I'll do it. I promise.
I just remember this the probably the longest car ride I've had with her dad, where we get to the place. And I remember it was like a few days afterwards, and we were driving to go to a dinner or something. It was like, dudes being in a car, just enjoying each other's company.
For sure.
And then,
The way you said that was so funny.
and then just awkward silence. And then he goes, so, still haven't proposed, I see. And I was like,
Why do you have to say it like that?
that's kinda tough.
what's going on with that? And I'm
Yeah.
like, I kind of feel like I'm in an FBI interrogation or something right now. It's just like, I'm sorry, sir. It is still in the plans. We did not plan to come back for Christmas. I swear to God, sir, it is still in the works. Do not worry, I haven't changed my mind or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so fucking happy for you.
Thank you.
And,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Thank
Awesome,
you.
man.
Thank
Welcome
you.
to the club.
Hell yeah. So
I'm glad you didn't make my mistake of not knowing her, or just like knowing but not being confident in her ring size until.
Oh yeah. No, that was the other thing, right? Is that
Yeah.
like I had written down on my notes, like I remember it was like fucking years ago that I had this like Slumdog Millionaire moment where like I remember we went shopping one time and we were just casually looking at rings because we both obviously like to wear a lot of rings.
by the way.
Yeah. and I was just like, and no, it wasn't even that. It was just like, she was like, oh, I should probably like know my actual ring sizes for all my fingers just to make it easier. So we were all checking all of our ring sizes. And then when she got to the ring finger of her left hand, I was fucking locked in. I was just like, I must retain this to memory. and I specifically remember she looked at it and was like, okay, US size 8. She said that out loud, and I was like, "Oh, word!"
Yeah. She
Got on my phone immediately.
Make sure it's set outside.
In girl talk, this is please catch this alley-oop that I'm giving you right now.
Yes, ring size 8.
It's like, I'm setting you up for the dunk. Catch it.
US 8, UK 10,
Yes.
Japanese 15.
Yeah. And she was like, ring. I was like, ring size 8. And I was like, oh, okay, word.
Yeah,
Quickly wrote that down.
When you mentioned earlier, you were like, actually one of the Alexandra, and you were like, yeah, she gave hints. And knowing Aki, I was like, there's not a hint. She really went like, this is the ring that I would want if I was getting married.
Hypothetically speaking,
This would be a great marriage ring.
This and like this size, be pretty lit.
You're like, I think I got the hint.
I was like, hang on, she's sending me signals right now.
I think she wants me to buy her mom this ring.
So I had it down in my notes. I was like, US size 8. And so when I put the order in, I was like, perfect. When I got to the ring size thing, US size 8. Bam, got it in.
When you got it, did you think, this is kind of big?
No, I didn't think that at all. I looked at it. And I was like,
I would try it on.
oh no, I didn't try it on.
I would just be like, let's see if I could rock it.
No, I looked at with the moment it arrived. I looked at it, made sure that the build was good and it was like the right gemstone. And I was like, okay, cool, put it back in the
note
vault.
to self: if I ever get one, I'll try it on.
Yeah, probably best
like,
to try it on.
No, it fits me.
So then when she put it on and it was like not huge, but I think we realized afterwards we were like she was actually a ring size 6.
No, you got a thumb ring.
Yeah, I think I got her a thumb ring. Legitimately, I think it was like a thumb ring size.
It's like, nah, it's a thumb. It's for the thumb.
And I was so confused because I was like, no, I remember I have this note from like years ago where you specifically said ring size 8.
I have the same notes in my
You
phone.
get married and you start gaslighting. And
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah,
nah, I think you said this.
Yeah.
Like,
So
to be honest.
either I remembered wrong or you lied to me.
No, I remember I had the size chart on my phone as well, where I had that alley-oop moment as well. I think every partner has the alley-oop moment. But it was like so long ago that I start, that's where my anxiety came in.
Yeah.
When I go to the ring shop, I'm like, it's this ring size, and then I get it, I see it, and I'm like, maybe I'm overthinking this. Doesn't feel right, doesn't look right, but maybe it's just my anxiety here.
Girthy finger.
Nah, my dumbass was so confident. I was just like, yeah, this is perfect.
You didn't touch it? You didn't touch it
I
at
didn't
all?
even touch it. I wrote that shit down. I was like, nah, nailed that shit.
God, I wish I had that confidence, man.
Yeah, that came to bite
That
me
is
back.
a Joey special.
Yeah.
Like, nah, I just got it.
No, but then she was like, oh, it's I put it on her, and then we both looked at it and was like, oh, it's a bit big. And then I was like, oh, I guess you lost weight in your fingers.
So true. True.
I didn't quite nail the dunk, but I did receive the ball. I was like, I'll save this.
Damn.
But yeah, so now I have to look for a place that changes ring sizes. And I didn't realize that apparently, I don't know, maybe this is just like me looking everything up, but apparently if the ring size is like more than one off,
Mm-hmm.
then it gets kind of expensive to fix. And you kind of get limited on where you can fix it. Because we went to a place like near our house and we were like, yeah, it's going to cost you about 30,000 yen to fix this ring size. And I was just like,
It's not too bad.
I mean,
but it's quite expensive.
yeah, but that's a lot to just change ring sizes. So we're still trying to find a place that, is going to do it in a rate that won't, cost like fucking a portion of the actual ring price.
This is when I feel lucky for having such a fucking large family, because the person that did my rings was just a family friend in Thailand. In my extended network in Thailand.
Actually, yeah. You know what? I might ask one of,
just ask one of Garnt's family. They'll get it done.
Or I could ask like,
Very
one
affordable.
of 70 of Aki's cousins, and I'm sure one of them like works in jewelry or something. I don't know. But yeah, we'll figure that out.
It's me, your boy, Joey, here to let you know about this sponsor of today's episode, Zocdoc. When was the last time you needed to go to the doctor, but just kind of push it off? You probably made an excuse like, oh, I'm too busy, or oh, I forgot where I put my insurance card. I'm not going to pretend I'm innocent either. We've all been there, because booking a doctor's appointment just feels so daunting. But thanks to Zocdoc, there's no reason to delay. Zocdoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. We're talking about booking in-network appointments with more than 100,000 doctors across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, primary care to urgent care, and more. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, are located nearby, are a good fit for any medical need you may have, and are highly rated by verified patients. You can also filter based on specific preferences, whether that's looking for a male doctor, has availability that fits with your work schedule, or has an opening in the next day or so. Once you find the right doctor, you can see their actual appointment openings, choose a time slot that works for you, and click to instantly book a visit. Appointments made through Zocdoc also happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. I live in Japan right now, so do the other boys, but if we were in the US, for example, then Zocdoc will definitely be something that I would be more open to using. So what are you waiting for, you sick little children? Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to Zocdoc.com/trash to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/trash. Zocdoc.com/trash. Back to the episode.
But
So like with like wedding planning, do you start? You're like, all right, well, we'll figure it out now, or do you know like before? Like, how do you do that?
Oh no, so yesterday actually we just went to our first place.
Oh, cool. Oh,
Yeah.
shit, you're already like, oh, fuck, no time wasted.
Yeah, because Aki was like, you know what? I don't want to be one
Aki's
of
ready.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? I've actually already planned it all.
Yeah, Aki's like, I don't want to be one of those couples that's engaged for like 5 or 10 years, So it's just like,
Right.
you might as well just do it. So yeah, we went to our first place yesterday, just to, and not exactly to be like, this is the place, but like more so because the two of us have no fucking idea what even the range is, or like, what you can even
that's
do.
not cheap. That's for fucking sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, we
in
knew-
fucking Japan.
Oh yeah. We knew that going into it. So we're going around to like all sorts of different locations around like Japan and stuff like that. So like yesterday we actually just went back to Saitama.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because we're looking for one place in Saitama, and I don't know if we're necessarily going to do it there, but it was just nice to get an idea of like what they can do,
That's
and
fun as well,
all
I
that.
imagine, right?
Oh yeah, it was super fun. Apparently, I didn't know this, but in Japan, it's they call it a bridal fair.
Oh yeah, they have like
yeah.
whole like conventions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like a full-on experience that you get where like they obviously show you the locations and everything, but we also got to like try the food for free and like, get like a full experience of the actual
They
thing.
like sell you.
They go all out on it. But so yeah, it was really cool. So we went to our first location yesterday just to get kind of an idea of like, all right, what's the price range? What can they do? What can't they do? All that kind of stuff. And man, it's already getting stressful. I will say that. Just like, because you obviously want it to count.
Yeah.
Right? So just finding and it's so expensive. So it's like finding that right location. And also, but here's the other thing is that like, I don't know. Have you ever been to like a wedding in Japan?
No, actually I haven't. Every friend I've had here has gotten married abroad.
Overseas, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
even if they live in Japan, they're like, yeah, I'm leaving.
Yeah. So in Japan, in Japanese weddings, they do this thing which is like very traditional, even for like a Western style wedding here, where each guest who comes to the wedding
Has to give you
has
money.
to give money.
Yeah.
Typically, it's around 30,000 yen per person,
I'm gonna start doing that.
and that's mostly there to essentially help instead of like wedding gifts.
Yeah.
That's like
Help fund the wedding.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
basically
makes
to
sense.
help the couple fund the wedding.
Yeah.
We're probably not going to do that, just because it just feels kind of weird to do it. Because it's like, in my head, in our head, it's like, we're just happy that you're even fucking here.
Yeah,
To like,
I can
celebrate
spot
the
you.
wedding.
Yeah.
You want to spot?
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'll take $300 from you.
Oh god, I owe you after the girls'
Can,
master.
Yeah, legit.
can we pay you on the trash taste card?
Oh, trash taste card.
Do you take card, Joey?
I accept PayPay as well. If you want to. just PayPay me
No,
on the
I
day.
guess it makes sense, right? Like,
Yeah.
I guess, but also, James, when you're inviting like your boss, so
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I guess I would be like, yo,
Yeah,
this spot.
that's the reason why like so many Japanese weddings are like 300 people.
What- yeah,
Like,
what's the-
Yeah,
I
'cause
was
you have
gonna
to
ask
invite
what's the
colleagues and
size.
stuff as well.
Yeah. We're not going to do that much. I think we're probably looking at like, I don't know, 60,
Yeah.
Oh,
something
no
like
size.
that. Yeah, like
Yeah.
that. How many people were at your wedding?
64.
Okay, yeah, it's probably going to
Do
be
you know
about
the
that.
number?
Yeah, I know. what do you mean? Do I know the number?
He had to invite them all.
It's my list, Connor.
Yeah, but I wouldn't know the exact number.
Well, we did like a quick like first draft of like the people we were going to invite.
Yeah.
Just to be like, because we had no idea. We were like, okay, 100 seems like a lot, but it's like, do we even have like 100 people that we want to invite?
It's always tough. I feel like because when I think about friends, and then like you're like, I gotta invite this one friend, and then you're like, all right, well if I invite him, I gotta invite these other guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
the wedding politics that comes with
I
it.
imagine there's a lot of politics.
Yeah. So, it's going to be about 60 to 70 people, I'd say, because like the majority of Aki's family is probably not going to be able to go because they all live in the Philippines. So
Yeah.
we're probably going to do like some kind of like, because I'm going to the Philippines later this year. So we're probably
gonna
going
have
to
a
do
wedding tour?
probably like some kind of like engagement party kind of thing
So
in the
yeah,
Philippines.
similar to what I had to do.
Then
I
you
was
just
going to
get
highly
shit-faced.
recommend that because I was like, the reason I split up my Thai family from like, the original English wedding was because I was like, I don't want to pay for everyone. this family. This would like quadruple the cost.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy
You're paying
shit.
for flights.
Yeah,
and
I was like, okay, so Aki, I've got two cousins who both live in Japan, so that's gonna be fine. How many cousins do you have? And she's like, so on my mum's side, I've got like 60. I was like, stop, no more. We're gonna do something in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about. I feel like cousins is such a tough one, right? Because like I feel like some cousins I just don't really know, and
Yeah.
I feel like I have to invite you just because we're like
Right.
loosely related.
Well, how many
also.
cousins do you have? Is it a lot?
Not that many. Like maybe 8.
Because I legitimately only have 2. Because on my dad's side, I don't have any cousins.
Oh. But then again, like
Laughs in
yeah,
Southeast Asia.
Yeah, right.
right? Like, and then if we're talking like we got to invite like 30 cousins and like
I think I have more cousins than both of you combined.
Easily. How many cousins do you have that you remember?
But yeah, I just feel like I wouldn't really want someone there if I just like didn't know them. very
Yeah,
well,
right.
You know, and I feel like that's fair. But then some family members get annoyed about that. They're like, "How dare you not invite Timothy?" I'm like,
Yeah.
I fucking never spoke to Timothy.
Like, what do you mean? You met him once when you were 3 years old?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, yeah, sure.
It's
All
like,
right.
oh yes, of course, Timothy.
Yeah, I'm not a big whole. I know some people put quite a lot of emphasis on like, but you're related by blood. I'm like, yeah, but I don't really care.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, but I don't know them.
I don't know. I just feel like friend, like if I actually like spend time with them, that's way more important.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, so there's a lot of planning, but we do want to get it done, just like as soon as possible, just because I feel like it's just gonna.
Just get it fucking over
Yeah,
with.
we
Really.
just-
It's
we
a
just-
bit shit, isn't it?
Well,
Just
we-
having to get married.
We just don't want to prolong it,
No.
Yeah.
So,
Are you going to get a wedding planner?
100%. Yeah, luckily in all venues in Japan, they give you a wedding planner.
Yeah.
You get a wedding team in Japan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
God damn.
Oh my
The
God.
wedding planner we talked to yesterday was so sweet because I guess like she has done a lot of weddings in Japan with Japanese couples, but she had never done like a proper like Western way, because I found out in a lot of Japanese weddings at Japanese venues is that the weddings are really short. Like they legitimately just do the actual wedding, and then they do the dinner and stuff
Yeah.
like the reception.
and
then after the
they'd be
re-
like, well, I don't want to inconvenience people.
Well, they do the wedding itself, and then they do the reception, and then
Yeah.
once the reception is done, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone
it's pretty
just
short.
just
Yeah.
leaves, and it's like, and it's this style of like, well, okay, if people want to leave, they can leave, and if people want to continue like partying or drinking,
Yeah.
then they do it in a second location.
Right.
Nijikai.
Right.
Yeah, the Nijikai, right, which is like not really a thing in the West. It's like you just do
No,
it.
no,
all
You just do it
in-
at the
Yeah,
venue.
you do it all in one location, right?
I feel like most venues that you drink till pretty late anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
you
So
tend to go
we
by
told her that we wanted to do it in that style, and she was like, "Okay, like that's definitely doable, but it's definitely not common."
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, well, make it happen.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's cold or not.
Make it happen.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
God, that wedding fair must have been quite intense.
Yeah.
Was it huge? Was there like a lot of people there?
Yeah. So the one we went to, it's this like big chain of wedding venues called Anniversaire. You've probably seen it before.
I mean, the wedding business here is no joke. I know that they've like conglomerated it. Quite
Yeah.
well. Like
So-
everything's owned by massive companies. And
Yeah.
the whole thing's run.
So we decided to check out the big conglomerate first to just
Yeah.
kind of get a vibe before we start hitting up the more private locations.
Right.
Just to get a vibe of like, what they can do. And the one we went to in it's up in Saitama. The location is like super nice, but the problem is that like I don't know if this is the case with a lot of wedding venues. There's not much else around it
No.
because it's like it's not like in Japan. It's not like in the West where like there's like a restaurant nearby or
Right,
like
right.
or it's like in the middle of the city. Maybe it is in Tokyo, but at least the one in Saitama, there was actually fuck
I mean,
all
that's just
around.
Saitama.
Yeah.
That's just
That's
Saitama.
Saitama in general.
There was like fuck all around us. So I was like,
it really much depends on what vibe of the
what you want.
venue you do want.
Yeah.
Because if you have a city one, you're probably going to have a lot more like amenities like
Yeah.
around it.
Did they try and offer you like a fake church?
yeah,
Were they like-
yeah.
I love that. I love
Yeah,
their fake
they had the fake
churches.
church. Although the one we went to was like the most traditional looking church
Okay,
I've
okay,
ever seen.
alright.
There was like the full fucking pipe organ and everything, and like they were like, oh yeah, we have another one that has an actual stained glass window of like
Okay.
Christian things in it.
I went to a I was waiting for someone else. I had like a 2 hour free. It's awkward where you like go to meet someone and you have another thing in 2 hours, but you can't really go home.
Yeah.
And I was in, I don't know where I was, somewhere in Tokyo, like the businessy area. There was in this building they were just having like a house building fair. So I was like, oh, check it out. So I went to this house building fair and immediately I got like assaulted by, not assaulted, but like attacked by like 5 Japanese men that were like, hello, would you like to buy a house?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, not really.
I'm just looking.
But then they were
now.
like kind of showing me around. And it was so fucking intense. And they were like, if you commit to building a house with us right now, we will give you a Nintendo Switch. I'm serious. I am 100% serious.
Wait, is there a Switch 2?
No, it was
Nah,
the other
fuck
Switch.
off.
It was the other Switch. This was like a year ago.
Right.
like they better come with the new Mario Kart.
I'm
Yeah, it
like,
was
I'm
it
not
was-
listening unless you have a Switch 2,
It was
actually.
like a year ago, and then like they were like, they like sat me down and they were like, we'll just give you a tour anyway.
Yeah.
And they were like, here's what we can do. Here's the prices. And it was all like very methodical.
Yeah.
And then they just gave me a tour of these, like, it was a massive fucking building.
Yeah.
Of like these houses, fake houses and fake bathrooms and all these guard systems. And I was like, oh, fucking hell, this is like ridiculous. And at the end, they were like, yeah, if you commit to building a house with us right now, which I was like, I don't want to do that.
Who just does that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I just showed up because I was curious what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were like, if you commit right now, we'll give you a Nintendo Switch and you can enter the gacha. And I was like, okay, now hold on. I might commit right now.
Wait, what?
They had
gacha?
a giant wheel, like a giant wooden wheel. I'm not kidding. And there was a woman who her whole job was spinning the gacha wheel if you committed to buying and building.
Wait, what could you win?
It was like a 10 grand off your house potentially,
Yeah.
or you could get like some cleaning products, and then they had a hazure as well, like a prize where like you'd get some
Pocket tissues.
yeah,
or
like
something?
some generic thing. But they were literally doing a free Switch, and then you got a gacha if you committed to building the house.
If the wheel doesn't say like buy one get one free, then
Yeah,
I'm
I was
not,
like,
Yeah.
you get a free house.
Yeah, it's like,
what
I'm
is
not
the-
spinning it,
What
yeah.
is the SSR rate
Yeah.
here? Like, just tell me that, and I'm locked
if
in.
this isn't like Wheel of Fortune stakes, then like
yeah,
I
I
just
get like a
It's
D,
like-
and I'm like,
yeah.
just throw away the fucking house. I
And
don't
then
give a
you're
fuck.
like, all right, you didn't get the SSR. You're like, all right, I'll just buy another
I'll
house.
buy another house.
I want another
house.
spin.
yeah, give me another.
Well, because
the world's most expensive
it was,
gacha.
it was like
You just buy an entire neighborhood.
How
at
much
the
for a
end.
10 pull?
yeah, right. I'm like, just give me the 10 pull. What kind of house do I have to build to get an SSR?
I'll buy
pull?
the neighborhood. Give me a 10 pull.
What are the pity rolls?
That's a
looking
Mr.
like?
Beast video. He's
Yeah.
just like,
How
yo,
many pity pulls?
guys, I am doing 100 pulls today.
I was just like, why is there gacha when I'm building a house? Like that seems weird. But like, yeah, they were doing it, and because it seemed like the way they were showing me. It was, basically, it was like if you had like some kind of land or whatever, they would just kind of build you a prefab Like you would just get a house that would be built very quick and was really
They should do a gacha where it's like it randomizes like what you get in the actual house. So it's like you spin it and it's like you get 7 bathrooms.
Yeah, it was very odd. It's like if I was gonna build a house, I would build a house. I don't think I would be swayed by a fucking Nintendo Switch. But I would like to know who that worked on.
Yeah.
Like I would love to have the conversation of like who was swayed by the Switch.
Yeah, who has enough money to buy a house
these
but not a
houses are like
Switch?
200 grand. Like it's like not cheap. Why are you being swayed by the $300 purchase?
Yeah, I can purchase the house, but man, I just don't have enough money for the Switch, guys.
Yeah.
I don't have an extra $400,
Ridiculous.
unfortunately.
Yeah, no, it was interesting. the fairs they take seriously is what I've realized.
Yeah.
Fairs in Japan are no joke.
Yeah.
They lock in.
I mean, look, like when we went to this wedding venue, like, immediately we were like, we're not going to probably pick this place immediately just because, we wanted to just get a vibe of the place. But my God, that woman who took us around did a fucking good job because by the end of it, we were like,
I just want to buy
this
3 weddings.
This might be a maybe. This might honestly be a maybe. She did a good job fucking convincing us. So.
Right.
Yeah, so, but yeah, we'll hopefully figure it out soon. And
the most important question, Joey, is there going to be an open bar?
I mean,
it has to be.
Boys, am I Australian?
Aussie.
The answer is yes. Have you drunk with my dad? I think my dad would legitimately kill me if there was no open bar.
When I went back in Christmas, I was talking to my brother.
Yeah.
He was like, I just don't think I should get an open bar. I was like,
What?
I was like, what are you talking about? It's like no open bar. I was like, you gotta make people come to your wedding and make them pay for a drink. But then again, obviously in the British perspective, I can understand there's a bit of concern there because people get absolutely shit-faced.
Yeah, right.
But he was
It's like half the wedding cost is the open bar.
Yeah, he was like, well, people are gonna, just get a drink and not finish it, which I think does happen quite a lot. To be fair,
For sure.
because I feel like at your wedding, some people who got a little too drunk, they would like go to the bar and be like, "Oh, well, you want a drink?" And they'd get a drink, have one sip, put it down, and be like, "I'll get another one."
Yeah, where did my drink go?
And I'm like, Paul Garnt's paying for this mistake.
Yeah, I think I remember at one point.
But then I was like, fuck that. I was like, I'll pay for your goddamn open bar if you ever have a wedding. And then like 2 weeks later, he got engaged. And I was like, you motherfucker, you swindled me. You swindled me. I thought this was like 2 years from now kind of deal. I thought this was, I'll forget about it.
He heard that and he was like,
All right.
honey, I've got the handshake. We need to
I
cement this deal before he changes his mind.
He slides the invoice over.
I shouldn't make these deals while having 3 pints. So I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll pay. I was like,
Well, next time I drink with Connor, I know what I'm going to talk to him.
No, this is not a thing.
I'm going to be like, Connor, actually, on second thought, we're not going to have an open bar. Sorry, man.
No.
Here's the invoice.
Yeah.
No, this cannot be a thing that I keep doing.
I'll accept it on the trash taste card. It's fine.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, now that I've mentioned it on the pod, I was thinking, boys, how about I pay for it with the trash taste card? It'll be a great story.
Oh, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so everything's gone well.
Yeah.
And maybe I reckon.
What did your parents say?
What did my parents say?
Yeah.
They were like,
Yeah.
oh, fucking finally.
Yeah, I imagine your dad would be like, well, fucking seriously, mate?
Yeah.
You already fucking engaged.
Yeah. It's like, good on you, son. It's like, hey, he's like, you better fucking pay for my flight.
He's thinking about the open bar that comes after.
Yeah, he's like,
So what are the choices?
You kind of you didn't really have a choice in this matter. It's an open bar situation.
It was not a question of maybe it's a yes or I'm not going.
Luckily in Japan, an open bar I feel like isn't as expensive as in like other countries.
I don't know actually. I think the first place we were looking at, the open bar, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I don't know how much yours was, but it wasn't as much as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, mine one was we paid afterwards actually.
Oh, okay.
So what happened was
You're paying like premium bar price drinks and like
well, so in our open bar, the way it worked was you have 2 options. Basically, you have a budget, and then the bar is open until the drinks meet that budget.
Right.
Or what we did was we were like, maybe a mistake, maybe not. Just give us the bill afterwards. And it was, not gonna lie, it was a hefty bill.
Yeah.
But we, because we actually did our wedding on a budget, so we had quite a lot of budget to spare.
Right.
So we're like, fuck it, let's just. And honestly, I don't regret it because people had a great fucking time.
Oh, yeah.
From what I could see.
Oh yeah.
Alcohol does wonders in terms of making sure everyone's like nice and merry. And yeah, I mean, I think our open bar was holy shit. It was just over like a quarter of our budget in the end.
Damn.
But that's because our wedding was
damn.
actually like looking back, our wedding was actually pretty damn cheap compared to some of the budgets I hear nowadays.
Yeah.
So we were able to get away with it. I think because we booked before COVID, so we got like super cheap prices compared to what people are getting nowadays in this economy.
Oh
That's not
yeah.
very expensive.
Yeah. It was. It's definitely gonna be. It's roughly the one we're looking at is roughly the price that I'm expecting, but it still doesn't change the fact that I'm gonna have to do a couple more sponsors to cover this shit.
This wedding is sponsored by.
Raid Shadow
cut to the ad.
Yeah, cut to the ad.
What is sponsoring us today?
Probably Shopify.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I can have a small little bit of your time to talk about today's sponsor, Shopify. Now, you're probably glued onto your screen right now and thinking, oh my god, what is this amazing t-shirt that Joey just happens to be wearing right now? Nonsense? What is that? Well, thank you for asking, curious audience member, because this is my clothing brand, Nonsense. When I first got started with the idea of Nonsense, there was just one huge problem that I had. I had absolutely zero experience on doing EC and online stores and stuff like that. I had no idea what to do. How am I going to send all of these amazing designs to the lovely people all over the world? Thankfully, Shopify was there to help us out. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. If you can't design a website, there's no problem. Shopify's got you from the get-go with beautiful, ready-to-go templates to match your brand's style. Get help with everyday tasks like enhancing product images, writing product descriptions, or generating discount codes with Shopify's AI tools created for commerce. And Shopify helps you to find your customers with easy-to-run email and social media campaigns. Plus, Shopify's always around to share advice with their award-winning 24/7 customer support. So boys, if you've got a dream and you want to turn those dreams into cha-ching cash and give them the best shot at success, then you should use Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/trash. Go to shopify.com/trash. That's shopify.com/trash. Back to the episode.
In our case, because a lot of the times we're all very global. We have a lot of, we're all from different countries. So I feel like it's kind of sucks to have someone like pay for their own flight and hotel sometimes. And you're like, hey man, can you just pay for the $5 drink as well? And you're like,
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly why I didn't
Yeah.
want to do like the 30,000 yen, wedding gift thing.
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
people coming from all over the world, right?
Exactly.
And you kinda
Yeah.
wanna just be like,
it's like,
hey, man,
we're
thanks for coming.
just happy you're even here. So,
Yeah, exactly.
we're not going to do
Yeah.
that. So.
Yeah, your presence.
Exactly.
is
Your
the
presence
biggest
is a
thing.
gift.
I mean, it's cheesy, but
is.
that's what the weddings are for.
No,
It's
100%.
just a great day where you just celebrate two people's happiness.
Exactly.
It's
That's all that matters. So,
Well,
yeah.
I'm very, very excited and congratulations.
Thank you very
Joey.
much, man.
And congratulations to you as well, Connor,
Why?
for birthing $1 million.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was like, wait, what?
I was trying to wait to segue. I was just like, for getting engaged to $1 million.
Yeah. I think the phrase
for charity.
birthing $1 million.
I don't know why I went
was
from
like,
wedding
congrats. I was like, what did I do?
to childbirth. I don't know. I don't know why I went.
Connor, you look fat. You're pregnant. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
man, you fucking crushed it.
Yeah, I crushed it
Another
yet
one
again.
Down, another one down. Yeah, we went from all the way Nemuro to Tokyo. That was fun.
God, Nemuro is such a shithole, isn't it?
Nemuro was actually one of the better parts of Hokkaido.
Really?
Yeah, East Hokkaido kind of sucks.
Yeah, when I went with Chris, it was one of the most miserable experiences I've had.
So when so obviously Cyclethon 4 happened. It was planning, we started planning it in like January or December the year before. And it was going to be one day longer than the last one. And we just were like, fuck it, let's just do the same thing again. And hopefully people fuck with it and people enjoy it. And luckily they did. But yeah, it was really interesting doing it again, because now I feel like I've gotten pretty good at doing it.
Yeah.
Like I know the flow pretty well.
Yeah.
We always try to upgrade the tech a little bit.
Yeah, I saw they had drone shots this time.
a lot of drone shots this time, which is so sick.
Yeah.
So a lot of like really cool scenery. We'd have drones where we could do it, of course, because
Yeah.
a lot of cities you can't do it. But we went to Nemero, and it's always a logistical nightmare getting to the middle of fucking nowhere. Especially
Nemuro.
especially when we have so much stuff.
Yeah.
Like we have
Yeah.
bikes, we have tons of batteries, we have all this kind of gear that we're like, trying to get on a plane. But we had a Nabby who got a ferry from Chiba up to Tomakomai.
Oh my God.
And then drove. And that ferry is like a day long.
God.
So he took all the shit.
Nabi the goat.
He's a trooper, man. He gets it done. And Nabi and Takaru went all the way there. And then we just flew to Nakashibetsu, Nemuro, something like that. Some airport. Hokkaido has a lot of airports. Hokkaido has 6 airports.
It's a big place.
Yeah, and it's surprisingly very well serviced by planes. Yeah, Nakashibetsu. That's it. And when we were going to get our flight, on the morning they texted us. They said like, oh, the flight might be canceled due to weather.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
And we were starting tomorrow, and we were kind of fucked if this flight gets canceled. Because there are the airports, but our rental car was in this airport. So and it's really hard to change rental cars. If you don't show up, it causes a nightmare in Japan. It's very, very unflexible with a lot of things. And we had a scare, and we thought like, fuck, what are we going to fucking do if this flight? So I'm like freaking out, trying to figure out other ways we can kind of get there. And maybe we could go to Sapporo and do an 8-hour drive, or go to like another airport called Kushiro, and then hopefully there's another car we can rent and other stuff. Basically, we would have been fucked if this flight got cancelled.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, well, don't worry. In an hour, we'll tell you if the flight's happening. And I was like, oh, great. So now I get to go to the airport and shit myself and wait if the flight happens. And then they change it to, okay, we're going to fly, but if we get there and the weather, the visibility's bad, we're going to turn around.
Oh, fuck.
And
Which
so
is the
now
worst case.
Now it's even worse, because then
Yeah.
that means if this happens, we have to fly all the way back and then figure out some kind of flight to get on that same day, and then figure this out. So either way, we would still maybe be able to make it, but we'd be getting there at like 3-4 a.m. It would be fun.
Yeah.
Like we'd have to, like worst case scenario, we just fucking say fuck it, get a car and drive all the way up. Like it would have been like, it would have been fucked.
Yeah.
But we get on this plane, and it's the most nerve-wracking flight of my life, because the whole time you're like trying to relax, but you know you might be turned around at the last second. And we're approaching the airport, and it's about an hour and a half from Tokyo, and you hear the landing gear go out, but I still can't see anything out the window. It's so bad, the visibility.
Right.
Impossible to see anything. And the landing gear's been out for like 5 minutes now, 10 minutes. And I'm like, what's going on? And they're not saying anything. And the landing gear's been out for a long time. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, I finally see like a crumb of the ground, and we're like through all the fog.
Right.
We're so close to the ground, and I can only see a tiny speck. And then right as we're about to land, literally 5 seconds before we land, I can finally see, and we're maybe like 20, 30 meters off the ground.
Right.
And that's when I can finally see.
Jesus
And I'm
Christ.
like, Jesus Christ. This is fucked. We land safely somehow. Shout out to the pilot. My God. But although, to be honest, this airport was desolate, so even if he didn't know where he was landing, I'm sure he'd be all right. Just fucking land it on the ground.
There's lots of
wherever.
fields.
Yeah.
And it looks like a fucking hellscape when we land. It's miserable. It's like foggy. The fog is ridiculous, and everything's like dead. It looks horrible. It looks like a waste, like Chernobyl.
Yeah.
It looks awful.
Yeah.
And it was just not the weather in this place really dictated whether it looked good or bad. And so we then go to Nemuro City, and we go in this hotel, and everything's in Russian, which is like, what the fuck is going on? But there was one good sushi restaurant, which I think you went to as well in Nemuro.
Yes.
That was absolutely peak sushi.
Yeah, that was
Right.
awesome.
It was like 400 yen for a fatty bluefin tuna that was like this big.
Ooh.
It was huge.
Yeah.
We went there for dinner, and it made the whole place worth it. But the hotel was so strange. The vibes were very weird. Everything about that place was very weird vibes. It was fucking freezing.
Yeah.
We started, it was -3.
Oh my God.
No, 2 degrees, sorry, but it felt like -3, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we started at the most eastern point. Really cool. Whole giant arch. Way cooler than the fucking most northern point thing.
Yeah, definitely.
What
Yeah.
the fuck,
Is
man?
that the one with the flame in the middle? The giant arch in
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
Yeah.
The
That one's
flame
really
is like
cool.
super cool. They have this giant fucking arch. And then we went to the most northern one, And I was like, this fucking blows. It looks like comparatively
Yeah,
like
Cape Nosapu, yeah.
I was like, they need to step it up, Cape
Yeah.
Nosapu, because people go to Cape Nosapu way more.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, very cool. But the easternmost point is really cool and like visually stunning. Like really like looks so trippy. It doesn't look like Japan at all. And the first day was great. It was like kind of sunny, very fucking cold though, and I was not prepared for how cold it was going to be. I did not bring any stuff for the cold. I just brought stuff for rain.
Yeah.
Because I just figured like, oh, I'll get hot, but
Yeah.
I did not get hot.
Yeah.
Had sushi and yeah, it was great. And then it just never stopped being foggy. It was like fogging for like 3-4 days, and it was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was nothing.
Yeah.
There was nothing for like 3 days.
Yeah. I mean, like, I joined the last day of Hokkaido.
You did, yeah. You had like the more easy,
Yeah.
like, like terrain and scenery.
Yeah. I mean,
We went to like the most bomb fucking restaurant. That lunch place was phenomenal.
oh yeah, the fucking farmers market lunch place, or the
Yeah,
like,
it was like for like two of the days we couldn't have any lunch because there
Yeah.
was just no lunch places because there was like literally nothing. So if you bring up a map of Hokkaido, it was kind of like Nemuro had stuff, and then from Nemuro until like we started getting close to Tomokomai, like like from
More to the east.
yeah, so
East.
yeah, so like Nemuro, you can see we cycled all the way over to Kushiro, and Kushiro was kind of cool.
I like Kushiro.
Kind of famous for a couple of things. I can't remember what it's famous for now, but I know Obihiro is really close to it. It's famous for all the horses.
Yeah.
And we saw a bunch of horses, which is sick.
Yeah, Kushiro's like a really weird city because I don't know if you got this vibe.
It's pretty
but,
big.
Like, it's very European in a weird way.
Yeah.
Like the architecture is super European and it doesn't feel like Japan in a weird way.
Kushiro,
Did you get that vibe from Kushiro?
I felt like Kushiro looked really Eastern European.
Yeah.
It looked very Eastern. Dude, this train station in Kushiro looked rough.
Yeah.
Can you show?
I know exactly which
can
one
you
you're
show the
talking about.
Kushiro station? It looked, not gonna lie, man. It looked, because that's where you couldn't get the train from, right? The snow train.
Yeah.
See,
yeah.
that picture makes it look nice.
Yeah.
It
looks way rougher than that.
because it was like grim and like foggy. It looked bad.
Yeah.
It did not look good. But there's a very nice bakery in there. But the whole town was like, there's something about a town that is built for the snow that when it's not snowing, it looks bad.
Yeah, especially when it's just between that in between period before there's color there.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
definitely during the hot point in Hokkaido, I was like, damn, everything gray, everything
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
dead.
everything's gray, everything's dead.
Yeah.
It looked like shit. It just didn't. I felt like it was a bad time to go because nothing ended up looking good,
Yeah.
except for when we scaled like a fucking mountain that had snow on it, and it looked so sick when we were cycling on it.
Yeah.
But there's like no signal at all. And-
So no one could see it.
well, so I did. People could see it because we had like the fucking thing on the bike, so it did end up working. But it
Yeah.
was just very finicky getting it all to work. And the whole Hokkaido leg was really nice because there was no cars. But at the end of the day, like I was like, man, I just want to fucking go to a restaurant or like some kind of good lunch spot.
Yeah.
I realized what motivates Connor, and that's just food.
Yeah,
Food. That's just food. If there is like, compared to like all the donations and all the nice messages,
That helps too.
which
but
helps a
the
little
food
bit, but
helps
the biggest
most.
thing is knowing that he has a lunch place to go to.
Well, if I was doing cardio all day, that would probably be my biggest motivation
It's
as well.
so
you know?
important, man. 'cause
Yeah.
if you have like a fire meal, it's just phenomenal. And when the lunch place we went to, I think it's called it's up in Fort by the Ocean, I think it's called.
Fort by the ocean.
Tomokomai. Yeah, dude. This
Yeah.
place was so fire.
Damn.
yeah.
Dude, the pizza, I had a whole pizza and a whole pasta.
I'm getting hungry right now looking at
Yeah,
it.
right. I
And they did like amazing coffee.
Yeah.
And oh my lord.
Yeah, it was just this gem in the middle of nowhere. I don't know how you found it, but it was fucking delicious.
Hell
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And there's so many like fresh eggs and so many good pizzas and phenomenal coffee. And it was just like, we hadn't had that. Oh, the cheesecake was unreal.
Yeah. I joined the cyclethon. I sit down and I'm like, okay, I will just order a pizza or something, a meal for one. Meanwhile, Chris and Connor beside me are like, all right, I'm going to get the fries, a pasta and a pizza each. And Connor's like, should I get the cheesecake as well?
Yeah,
And I'm like, motherfucker, what?
I got the cheesecake.
Bro has the carb load, dude.
And then he did. And I'm like, what is going on right
I was
now?
really full after that. That fucked me up a little bit. Because then when we had dinner that day, we went for sushi and I had like 2 pieces. I was still full.
Yeah. Like, I thought I just had to have a meal for one. Meanwhile, the 2 besides me, I forgot were just both having a simple meal. Just a simple meal, ordering a gourmet fucking 3-course.
And that was where you explained domestic girlfriend to Chris.
Oh,
He was
yes.
horrified. He was horrified.
I don't know why this happens.
Yeah,
every single time.
I think someone donated and was like, explain domestic girlfriend to Chris.
Oh my god! But I think one of the favorite things we came across was that train station in the middle of nowhere. I forgot what the name of the train station was.
There was a train station that was just like a train cart.
Yeah, it was just
like
a
it'd been
car,
abandoned.
and it looked derelict. It looked like abandoned, but it looked like something out of a Studio Ghibli movie or something.
Sick.
Garnt left the door open.
Yeah. So I'd forgotten because we went to explore it, and it wasn't an automatic door. It was like, of course, it wasn't an automatic door.
Of course.
But my brain was just like, cool place, open the door, and someone had left like a like some documents there for like check-in. So I don't know how you buy tickets. I assume you just
Maybe on the train.
yeah,
I'm
maybe
not
on the
sure.
train. But there was like a guest book of people who went to the station, and it was like super cool, super old.
Yeah, that's the problem with these like Inaka train stations is that
Yeah.
like most of the time we're so used to like tapping on or like someone being there, but then you rock up to some of these places and it's like, I'm inside the station. Oh, and now I'm on the platform.
Yeah.
It's like where the fuck do I get a ticket? No one is here,
Exactly.
and the next train comes in 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I'd forgotten that it wasn't an abandoned building, and I just left the fucking door open.
Okay, they closed it. They closed it.
Luckily, the staff members got my back and they closed the door for me.
It was very funny because he was cycling and then it like cut to their camera and then just them closing it. It was cool. Yes, we had like 2 cameras this time, like 2 feeds. So we
Yeah.
were constantly changing between it. It was really cool.
Nice.
The tech, it's been upgraded massively.
Yeah.
It was really, really fun.
I made an appearance finally.
Oh yeah, you did. That was so fucking funny. Because when Felix was with us, so Felix
Yeah.
joined us on 2 really remote days, actually. Like,
Right.
kind of was in the middle of fucking nowhere. He joined us, I think, in Kushiro, I think,
Right.
around there. And we had like, it was one of the windiest and foggiest days. It was horrible.
Yeah.
But he was powering through. And during the whole time, I don't know why Chris is obsessed with being like, Joey's in his fucking hammock. It's all he would go on about. And then he was like, Joey's eating CBD gummies in his hammock. Motherfucker should be here right now. And like the whole thing. And then he's like, Joey never calls me. And I was like, do you text Joey? And he's like, no. And then for some reason he's like, I'm going to call him. And then you call him out as well. It's so funny.
Yeah, I was like with my family.
Yeah.
I was like hanging out with my aunt, and I just randomly get this call from Chris, and I'm like, the fuck? Chris never calls me. So I thought it was like an emergency. So I picked it up, and then I realized that he was on the cyclethon. And and then he was giving me shit for no reason. He was like, why aren't you here? Why do you never call me? Why did you ever text me? And then I roasted him on stream. And then I guess Connor told me afterwards that he was legitimately like, what the fuck, the entire day.
He was like, no, I always message Joey. I always, it was like,
And that was
he's
really
actually annoyed by it.
Yeah, and then it was really funny because the next day he was like, let's go to dinner. It's like, when I get back from cyclethon, we should go to dinner. And you know, he did. He followed through.
That is such a Chris thing.
He took me to like a teppanyaki place, and you know, it was nice. And I was just like, oh, this is very out of nowhere, Chris. Like, oh, this is, you know, what happened? This is like something special occasion. And then I remember the call that I gave him on the cyclethon. And I'm like, I guess.
Yeah, I just don't know why he was so obsessed with like taking jabs at you. He's like,
Yeah, right?
Joey in his fucking hammock.
I was like, I'm spending time with my family, and he just like calls me, and just like starts talking shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
He was so obsessed with just making fun of you. I don't know
right?
why. Yeah, he just something about
It's
you.
his
annoyed
coping
him.
mechanism.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
he'd get upset with the he's like, fucking Joey. Fucking bastards.
in my hammock eating CBD gummies. I don't think I've ever done that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. He would always be like, he's snorting gummies. I don't know why he keeps saying this.
Snorting gummies.
That's what he kept saying. I don't know why.
He clearly takes a lot of drugs.
I don't know. So, yeah, you finally made your appearance. That was nice.
Yeah.
And then, so we 15 days. It was endless. But it goes by really quick. It's so weird. It's like the first day you cycle and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
14 more fucking days of this.
Yeah.
And then you get to day 7, you're like, oh, it's halfway already. And day 10, you're like, oh shit, it's gonna end soon. And then the last day, you're like, oh man, I kind of want it to end.
You just get Stockholm syndrome with the chat. Is that it?
Maybe. I mean, it's just so fun. You kind of get
Stockholm syndrome with the bike.
Yeah, I don't know. You get so into it.
I don't know. After 2 days, I'm like, I'm good, bro.
Well,
My ass
I will
needs
say, like,
a break.
It's kind of weird. Like day 2 is the worst day because day 2 you're tired from day 1,
Right.
Because you've just like exercised a shit ton.
I remember asking you this exact question.
Yeah.
And then you're like, actually, no, day 3 is the worst.
Day 3 is pretty bad too.
I was like,
For me, it's either day 2 or 3. It depends.
Yeah.
This one, it was day 3. Last time I remember I remember day 2 was tough last time.
Yeah.
But it really depends on what happens on the day as well and like how good it is. But
Yeah.
generally, like if you haven't done it a lot, I think day 2 is the worst.
Yeah.
Because your body naturally, like it's so rare that you would exercise like quite a lot and then make yourself do it again the next day.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty infrequent. So your body like is fucked.
I did even more prep for this time than I did last time, which I'm thankful for because last time was hell on day 1, but day 2 was pretty easy. This time it was like actually flipped where day 2 was the harder day. And if I didn't have that prep, my body would have like just
Yeah, you
probably
were killing it.
just probably shut down.
What did you do for prep?
Huh?
What did you do for prep?
Just go to the gym, watch Solo Leveling, and just go on the bike. Yeah.
Fair.
If I needed a mindless show to watch while also getting me hyped, but also keeping me on the bike, actually Solo Leveling is pretty damn fucking
You had good
good.
weather as well.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Your weather
This
was good.
was the
Your weather was
cyclethon
good.
I was promised from last year.
The revenge, you got it.
The revenge. I finally got it.
I think Felix had the worst weather. It was just super foggy.
Right.
You couldn't see. Like at one point, we genuinely couldn't see each other.
Oh shit.
And it was very, very trippy and very scary and cold and wet. And you're just like, God, this fucking sucks. It wasn't raining, but when you were cycling, you would get soaked because there's so much moisture in the air
Yeah.
that like you were just running into it essentially. And it was just really odd, but really cool. And yeah, it worked really well. And we had so much tech stuff that had been improved and I was really just having a lot of fun. And it's yeah, like you said, it's kind of weird because day 2, I'm kind of like, man, it's just kind of daunting. But by day 7, you're like, man, I'm kind of like,
In the zone.
I'm exercising so much. I feel great.
Yeah.
I'm doing an amazing thing. Like I get to hang out with my mates. I get to raise money for a good cause. Get to streaming hours in. It's kind of like the perfect Venn diagram of like hitting everything. Like I'm getting my work done, so I don't feel bad about not working.
Yeah.
I'm exercising, so I feel great.
Yeah.
I get to eat a shit ton of food and travel cool locations.
Yeah.
Hang out with my mates all the time. So it's kind of like the best. Like I kind of like it is something I look forward to every year.
Nice.
And so I'll probably end up doing it every year for who knows how long.
Right.
Until your legs give out.
Yeah, or probably until Chris is just like, fuck off, man. That's probably
No more.
Yeah. I think that then I'll probably have to be like, all right, I'll pack it in. I'll do something else.
Yeah.
But I just really like, exercising is just fun. And being able to like, because even though I'm eating like 7,000 calories a day and eating too many pastas and
Carb
pizzas,
loading.
and I'm definitely like not losing weight. I
Yeah.
mean, just the fact that you're doing so much exercise is just amazing for your body.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so being able to
definitely.
like find that excuse to be able to do that, because I do love exercising, but I also love playing video games. So I end up like, I need to like, it's good for
Balance
me
it
to at least
out.
have, it doesn't really balance it out, but at least have this 1 month of the year where I'm fucking on top of shit and I'm
Yeah.
like in insane shape. It's just fun. I don't know. It's just really, really, really fun. And the vibes are just immaculate when I'm
Yeah.
doing it.
Hell yeah,
And, being able to have the finish line as well. And this time we had, trying to find a place was so hard, man. Because, we're trying to get the dates sorted, and we generally do get the dates sorted pretty far in advance, but not enough in Japan to rent a venue far in advance. Because Japan, to get a good venue, you need like 6 months in advance.
Yeah.
And we were trying to find a place that, kind of had an iconic look or feel to it. And everywhere that we asked was just kind of booked out. And so I think next time I'll try and do it a little bit earlier if we do this again. But it was just tough, man, trying to find a place, and logistically a nightmare as well.
Yeah.
And each venue has its own headaches. Like that's another thing people don't see is that like I'm also trying to like get the bike stuff sorted and plan out the route and get all that stuff and get Garnt where you're supposed to be on which day. But then also the venue's like, oh man, if we put the screen on the grass, it's going to cost extra money. And I'm like, what the fuck? What is that?
It also is going to take an extra month of approval.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, but this time it was really cool that I felt bad last time, even though I know I shouldn't feel bad because I know people just want to support and be there and take in the energy because, you know, we're asking people to come out, but it's not really like a show. You don't get anything for coming out. It's just like, do you want to be a part of the vibe?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
It's the credits roll moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still feel bad and I want people to have a good time. And so this time we had like a cafe that was there as well. And you could get like monkey latte artwork. And it was just like you could watch the stream from the cafe or on the venue. So that was fun. And it was kind of like I'd like to think it was maybe like a fun like a sports thing, being a part of like a show. So that was cool. So that was a lot more fun, I think, this time. But I don't know, I wasn't there. But I should have.
I only assume.
Yeah. Well, because we're only there for like 30 minutes, and it sucks because there's a lot of people there, so we can't really stop and chat with people afterwards.
Yeah.
either.
I mean,
So-
that's the way with like most meetups.
yeah, it does kind of suck. I wish there was a way where, you know, people are like, why don't you do like a little like VIP meetup? I'm like, well, we just fucking cycled all day and we're kind of tired.
I want a break.
And, you know, it's also a big emotional thing as well. And I'm like, you know, it's a huge emotional thing for me because, you know, I'm obviously crying as well because it's so like amazing. And, you know, so I don't, the last thing I want after this giant physical and emotional toll is, oh, hey, what's up, man? Like a picture.
Want to take a picture?
Like, you know, like, you know, and I not to say that I you know,
No, I think
can't
that's
do it, but, like,
understandable.
for
That's
me, it's like,
understandable.
I want to
Yeah.
just, you know, and for us, we just wrap up and then I have to go and also unpack everything.
Yeah.
So the moment we're done, I'm like in my cycling gear and I'm unloading the shit to my house. It's like, it's not exactly the fun after credits scene you imagine.
No, I think after
all.
all of that, you deserve to have a little time to disassociate for a little bit. You know,
But
it's
yeah,
understandable.
It was really cool. You know, and as well, there was a big conversation this year from a lot of the viewers who people were worried. They were like, "What if we don't hit the same amount of money as last year?" I'm like, well, that was never a concern for me, like, in terms of like hitting any particular milestone.
Yeah.
Any amount of money is good money.
Yeah, man. Like I went into it thinking of it as like a I've said this a lot, but like a GDQ kind of thing of like, I just want it to be a cool thing that people can tune into once a year where they can just kind of, they know every morning they'll have this background thing playing, or every evening they can tune in and they can enjoy. And if they want to donate, they can donate. If they don't want to donate, they don't want to. It's fine. So I was never really concerned about like if we hit a mil or not or anything like that. I just wanted to do the event.
Yeah.
But obviously, insane that we raised and beat last year's record.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah.
It was it was really cool to hit it, and it was a lot of new people who because you know we've done this before, and I've had a lot of the big same donors who always show up. It was just really cool to have a lot of the viewers donate, and I like this event a lot in comparison to the auction. I like the in this event it's kind of built on a lot of people giving like $5-10, whereas at the auction was like a lot of we try and find the oil daddies and get
The
them
whales.
money. The whales, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just cool, man. I just feel like the event's really fun. It worked out great, and hopefully, hoping the money can go and help a lot of people as well. So
Hell
it's
yeah,
just
dude.
been
Hell yeah,
really
man.
cool, and it was really fun and really emotional for me as well for a lot of
Yeah.
reasons. We had like Mouse join a lot more this year. And
Yeah, I
was really
saw
fun.
that. That was a very nice touch.
Yeah, because I think she was really upset. Not upset, but like obviously really emotional and sad that she couldn't be there.
Yeah.
And last year especially. And so I really wanted to make her feel like she's at least more part of it this time.
Yeah.
So that was like really important. And that was really cool. So it was really, really fun. I mean, I don't want to, it's the same thing as always, you know, just cycling, but it was really cool. I'm really glad I got to do it again. I'm really glad it went well.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So it was a lot
Looking
of fun.
forward to next year's.
Yeah. Are you going to cycle next year?
Maybe.
We'll get you on the bike eventually.
Yeah.
We'll get you on eventually.
Yeah.
We had obviously Felix joined again, Garnt, and Rob joined this time. Rob
Rob's a pro.
Rob showed us up.
Yeah.
Rob was crazy.
Rob does a cyclethon every day.
Rob stole my thunder as well because I'm like, guys, I just came back from Thailand, and little did I know that Rob also just came back from Thailand the day before me.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he just came from
Songkran.
Songkran.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was like, yeah, mate, just gonna fucking run it.
It's like, how many Ks we're doing today? Oh, fucking easy.
Yeah, well, yeah, he did. He was like,
Yeah.
what? We're only doing 80. I was like, 80 is kind of a lot, man. Garnt was doing 50,
Yeah, I
which
was
is
doing
pretty
50.
nice. You know, that's a good amount. That's a
Yeah.
very chill amount. I would love to do that every day. But at the end, we had to do like 90Ks and 100Ks, and that was pretty brutal.
Yeah, Rob's a fucking machine,
Yeah.
bro.
Man, just cycling through cities, I always forget how it fucking sucks.
Mm.
Going through Sendai on a bike, not fun.
Yeah.
But also, cyclethon's great,
Okay.
and raising money's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But so is Expedition 33. It's peak.
Oh, you want to
I
talk
It's
about
still
peak.
haven't played it,
It's
dude.
peak.
I want to
It's
play it
peak.
so bad.
It's peak.
I want to play it so bad.
Why
You
have
know
you not
what?
played it?
It pains me to give a W to the French.
Me too. It does suck. It does suck. It does
Just-
suck that the French have done it again.
We've already given a W to the French with my Madagascar trip. We're giving them another one today. Never happening again.
No, it's dude.
I know
So
I'm
peak.
gonna love the shit out
So
of this
fucking
game,
peak.
but I legitimately have just not had time to
It
play
is
games.
my obsession. It is. I don't know. I kind of half regret starting it on stream because I just kind of like
You gotta finish it.
It took every bone in my body to
Yeah.
be like, no, do not play this now.
Yeah.
You need to wait to be on camera. And I'm like, fuck. I just want to load it up right now and just grind it a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, it's doing very well, very successful. It's made
Yeah.
by a team of 30-ish people.
Damn.
And a lot of, I think, freelancers they hired. But yeah, I mean, it's just genuinely fucking peak.
It's like reinventing turn-based, right? That's what I've heard.
Pretty much.
I mean, it's kind of
it takes elements of. Okay.
I've seen very little of this because I kind of want to just like go into a blind eventually.
Yeah.
But
So it's a little bit like, I guess, the Mario RPG where it's like turn-based combat, but there's like, you have inputs you need to do in order to, either dodge, parry, or strengthen your attacks.
Right.
But it is that system on absolute crack.
right.
it's so sick.
So I don't know if this is a controversial take. It might be a controversial take. But Final Fantasy system.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 7 remake system.
Okay.
Right? So I am about 8 hours into it. And I know you're a big fan of it. So I wanted to ask because I am waiting for that aha moment with that combat system because it's kind of like a mix between a turn-based system and a real-time combat system, right? It's kind of like a mix between.
Yeah.
So far, it just hasn't gelled with me.
Right.
It just I have tried and I keep trying, but that system I can see the vision and maybe I just haven't played enough of it, or maybe I'm just never going to get that system. But that is a system where it activates the turn-based part of my brain and it activates the real-time battle part of my brain without fully satisfying either part.
Yeah.
Right? And I've said this on stream and, and a lot of people really, really like the combat system. That is my experience. That has been my experience
I
with
think
the
it doesn't
system.
look fun, the battle system.
Right.
Personally.
That has been my feeling with the battle system. Like, and as much as I try, because I keep trying to get back into it, and every time I go back, I'm just like, it just doesn't. It just hasn't gelled with me.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Maybe it's a me thing, right? With Expedition 33, this is like a different take that somehow. They say it's a turn-based system, but I'd say it's way more active than it is
Right.
like turn-based in a lot of ways. It is something that fully satisfies the active real-time battle part of my brain and the turn-based part of my brain. And there has never been a game that has been able to achieve that till now.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it is just like turn-based there. Like you do get your turn and you wait, but
Yeah.
like there's so much stuff going on that it really feels active in your head because there's you never feel like you have a moment to breathe in these battles. Like you're like, shit, what am I gonna do? I gotta heal. Like fuck, and if I miss this parry, I'm gonna die. And
Yeah.
And then so the main mechanic is parrying and dodging in fights.
Right.
Like you can hit them, and normally hitting the boost on your attacks is
That's pretty easy.
But a lot of bosses, they'll have like, the first enemy you encounter, they'll do a big telegraphed swing, but the sound effects and visuals are so meaty and it feels so good to parry something. And if you parry a whole attack successfully, you can counterattack.
Yeah.
Right.
And so like there is a massive edge you get if you're able to parry. But obviously
Well,
later on the bosses,
It's
they start doing like 9-hit combos that you
Yeah.
can perfectly parry. And it's basically a rhythm game.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you can listen to like just the audio cues to like hit
probably
it.
better with the audio cues.
Yeah, the
than
audio cue is
visual
way
cues.
better than the visual cue.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Really cool though.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to use this fucking
I know you're
analogy.
gonna say it.
I hate to
You're gonna
use
say
it.
it.
I'm gonna say it. I gotta say it. I gotta say it. It's very similar to fucking Dark Souls. It's just very similar to Dark Souls. No, because like here's the thing that changes it from like being a turn-based to like an active real-time like combat system.
Yeah.
Which is you cannot get by this game purely on turn-based. You need to learn how to dodge or parry. There is no way to get around it because if you don't, and if you are unable to get this system, you are not going to be able to clear the game.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I mean, there may be a way where you can build like a tank system, but for 90% of builds, you need this system.
Yeah, there was someone who was like, oh, look, if you put it on these difficulty, you can do a whole playthrough without dodging or parrying.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, difficulty. Whereas like on the expert mode, if you get hit once, you just die.
Yeah, I feel that by doing that as well, you take away like a core element of what makes the game fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, learning the parrying and stuff is very fun and satisfying, to be honest. It's just so cool. And the music is, oh my God, the music is godlike.
Yeah, I've only heard like the best things about it, so I know I'm going to love the shit out of this game.
Acting is phenomenal. And then they found like a SoundCloud composer. Not kidding.
Hell yeah.
And then like the writer, it's their first time writing, and the writing is phenomenal.
Damn.
Like all the characters, and I said this when I was playing the game, but you know, sometimes in JRPGs, there's a little bit of a tropiness that we lean into. And
cheesiness.
Yeah. And you know, I think a lot of us who like JRPGs, fellas, am I right? Fellas, am I right? Who like
Welcome to the club,
JRPGs?
fine.
Yeah, I like them. I like them. Like I think that there's that campiness or sometimes unrealistic dialogue that is really fun. Like it's really, really nice. But it's actually kind of nice to have a bit more dialogue, a bit more grounded in something.
Yeah.
And a bit like sometimes the characters will say things I'm like, shit, that's what I would have said in this situation. Which is I've never said in a Final Fantasy game in my life. I've never said I would say that.
Well, it's kind of like the writing just feels so fucking natural.
Human, yeah.
Because I don't know if watching like some modern blockbusters has just reprogrammed my brain to be like, they're gonna make a joke in this moment.
Make a quip, yeah.
They're gonna make a quippy quip.
Yeah.
And then they just like act it out. And I'm like,
yeah, it's really good.
Wait, this feels real.
Phenomenal.
What's going on? There's no joke.
Oh my, yeah,
but like there's still jokes in there, but it's something that occurs naturally from the situation rather than funny character saying funny
Yeah, it's
line.
not like an Arnold Schwarzenegger one-liner.
No, it's really good. And there are a bunch of goofy characters in it that are really fun.
Yeah.
And like they just very funny. That's it really just feels fresh. I think that's like the main thing and why I think people are so excited about it.
Yeah. I know for a fact that I've seen like so many people being like, oh, you know, with this game and how it's like a system that actually like everyone is like really vibing with it, and you know, it's a fresh new take on the turn-based system. It's just going to add a lot of pressure to like, you know, Square Enix and Atlas and all these like big like JRPG makers to like potentially rethink.
I mean, the moment you fucking open the first battle, the menu looks like Persona.
Yeah,
like
it is.
Oh, really?
Like it looks, which I
Say
think,
less.
which I think is just like that's just a natural evolution of how you present information, and I don't think that's fair to be like this is the Persona style. It's like. Yeah, I think maybe you should have a more dynamic thing as opposed to having just a box on the bottom.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I think it's a natural progression, definitely.
Like, and don't get me wrong, there are you know, and like when there's a new game that comes out that's really good and really innovative and really fun, you can't say a bad thing about it because people get really upset. But like, you know, some of the menus are kind of ass. Like when you want to find the Lumiere points. Getting to the Lumiere is so weirdly placed. It's like you have to go in the menu, click the character you want, go down into the corner, then click this little menu that doesn't show you information, even though it's like arguably the most important thing for your character to know. Right. And so like, and it's very like minimal complaint, like, you know what I mean? But like even when I would say that, people would be like, what the fuck? How dare you say anything like about this?
I don't know. Like my experience with JRPGs is, or at least RPGs in general, that's just part of the experience.
Yeah.
And I always have this thing where it's so weird streaming RPGs or just RPGs in general, because you start up a game, right?
Yeah.
And then people are like, you got to do this, you got to do this. God. And I'm like, you are saying words, funny man.
Yeah.
And what I feel like what I miss from doing these things on stream is this natural point where I'm like 20 hours into the game and I have done the tutorial, but nothing's actually come in,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
But it doesn't matter because you don't need to know all the systems
No.
until like
need them,
halfway through the game.
Yeah.
And then you hit like this weird wall and you're like, fuck, this doesn't feel right. And then naturally you start going to the menus and you're like, oh, that's why this system is here. And oh, I can do this as well. Oh, I could have done this earlier to do with that boss and blah, 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 blah. And that to me is a much more effective way to like internalize the systems and learn it. And it's so weird being like, flipping that round where I have being on stream, it's almost like the chat wants you to learn the system as it's immediately taught you in the tutorial, which is something I've never done. I've never internalized the system.
You naturally would just learn it as you go a bit more.
Yeah.
and when it
You gotta
becomes more
experiment with
relevant.
it.
Yeah.
But dude, streaming this game was miserable. People were so annoying in the chat, trying to backseat everything and trying to.
Yeah, another reason not to play RPGs on stream.
Well, so classic RPGs and even now I've been streaming Dark Souls. Like that's been really fun because I feel like the communities around those games, because they're a bit older, they really fucking love the game and they just want people to experience it. Like anytime I've played a Final Fantasy game, I've never had a problem with people being annoying.
Yeah.
Like people are so just excited.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, someone's playing fucking Final Fantasy 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's like, they're like, dude, let's fucking go.
Hell
Whereas
yeah.
I think when a game is very popular in the moment, a lot of people like feel like they want to be like super knowledgeable about it. And
Sure.
it's just like, shut the fuck up. Just let me play the goddamn game.
Yeah.
But
Especially with something like Elden Ring, for example,
Yeah.
where there is a backseating in that is
oh my God, backseating in Elden Ring is
very,
crazy.
very, and you know what? It's like,
They're not real gamers.
I understand
real
it. I understand it because sometimes, because I know how annoying it is, but then sometimes you watch someone play and just
No, I know.
what are you doing? There is something guttural in you just to be like, I can fix this. I can fix this so easily.
But you just gotta shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let people have fun with the game.
Yeah. Because the big thing about me is when I was playing Elden Ring, I was like, I want to do one thing. I want to do one build. I don't care about any other build. And people are like, no, you got to try this. This is super OP. And I'm like, no, I just want to parry. That's it. That's all I'm interested
This
in.
obsession with making like the most OP thing in a single player game blows my mind. So I'm like,
Yeah.
have you never had fun? Like, allow me to introduce you fun.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like you don't need the most OP thing.
Yeah.
You can enjoy a game without necessarily min-maxing every time. You
and
know?
like the fun thing is like making your own kind of like what you feel is like an OP build.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You know, maybe there is a combo that can one-shot every enemy, but like, you know,
Unless you discover that organically.
yeah, like I made my own like kind of like quadruple basic attack like combo thing, and I felt like, man, this is like a really fun build I made. Like so I came up with it. I'm sure someone else has made it, but you know what I mean? Like you put the pieces
but
together.
you put the pieces together.
And that's really satisfying and to see that plan work as opposed to being like going to YouTube and this is the most broken build in Expedition 33. And then it's like, put this on, and you're like, okay, well, good. I've used no thought to make a thing that steamrolls a game that's supposed to be fun. Like this is not fun for me anymore. Like maybe when I get to like that insane raid boss and I need a bit of help and I'm struggling and none of my builds are working. Okay, I can, that's good to have that, but I'm still gonna have a challenge.
Yeah, because I remember early on, I just I found this like OP like Mael build.
Oh yeah. I had that too.
Yeah, you had that too. I was like, wait a minute, I'm reading your abilities, and then this thing and this thing just comes together to make it so I can basically one-shot enemies.
Yeah, I was doing
from
that.
turn one. What is this? How is this allowed? And yeah, it was just really fun to discover that organically. And
it's been really fun. An amazing game. Obviously, we won't talk too much about it.
I'll get to it eventually. Don't worry.
it is very spoiler heavy as well.
Yeah. That's why I haven't seen anything about it. All I've heard that it's like a new, fresh take on a turn-based RPG, and that's all I need to hear.
And
honestly.
what I will say is that if you like the vibe of something like Hell's Paradise or the Dark Continent in Hunter x Hunter, you're gonna love this.
You know I eat that shit.
yeah. You are going to love this story,
Hell
Joey.
yeah. Hell yeah.
Do you think it'll make it some of these studios rethink turn-based combat and maybe think like, okay, hold on, there is a world where turn-based combat.
I think it's
modern.
going to make people rethink just big studios in general. I mean, the fact that this was made by a small team, I'm as interested in the storyline behind the making of Expedition 33 as I am just Expedition 33 in general, because it was made by a very, very small team. Does not feel like it was made by a very, very small team.
It feels like fucking
It feels AAA.
It feels
It does.
insane,
It
like,
feels
the scope of it.
absolutely AAA.
Because I feel the same thing happened when like Hollow Knight came out, for example, right? Like that was also made by a tiny team.
yeah.
And it was just such a polished game for an indie game that it just made everyone rethink like, oh shit, like maybe maybe we don't necessarily need to be triple.
This also really looks like a AAA game as well.
Yeah,
It's got like the acting, the
motion capture as well,
cutscenes,
the
mocaps.
so good.
And then you hear about the staff members, like Connor was saying. He didn't even discover the composer from SoundCloud. It was even like more niche than that.
Oh really?
Yeah. He was just looking for a composer, and he put out a post on a forum. A forum. Who the fuck uses a forum anymore?
Yeah.
On this like really super niche game development forum.
Yeah.
And this one composer was like, yeah, I got some spare time. And then from that, he looked at his SoundCloud, and his SoundCloud had one song. SoundCloud had one song. And that was it.
Damn.
That was it. And
Kind of nuts.
yeah.
It's kind of fucked how good the music is.
I mean,
And
whoever looked at that one song was like, we'll take him, must have like seen something.
And it's got one of the best modern video game soundtracks. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Damn.
It's peak. It's pretty
Yeah.
fucking insane.
Holy shit.
I just kind of blown away by it, and it was
Yeah.
really, really fucking fun. And definitely, if you're thinking about it, please play it. It's so good.
yeah.
I'll get to it.
Easily my
anyone-
game of the year. I don't see anything topping that. I mean,
Well, we'll see how the new Mario Kart is, I guess, when that comes out.
I just hope we get more like modern takes on turn-based combat now.
Yeah.
I really want more I want turn.
Yeah.
I like turn-based combat.
you know,
it's fun.
It's a blessing in disguise because I'm so glad I got to play Expedition 33. But also, I think it's ruined every other turn-based combat system for me now. Because I'm like, fuck, man. Nothing's going to give me the same rush as the combat system in Expedition 33.
Hell yeah.
I mean, that parrying when you hit it.
Yeah.
Oh, it felt good, man. Felt good.
Ecstasy.
Yeah.
Dude, some of these parries were hard to hit. Some of the bosses were fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get to it eventually, and I'll give you my thoughts
me and
on it.
Connor had an unofficial speedrun race.
That doesn't count because you were 10 levels fucking higher than me, Garnt.
It doesn't matter. It does. I actually built my characters. Connor was still like,
No, my characters were built as shit.
yeah, you didn't build your characters. Where we were both on stream and they all chat was like, oh, Connor's been stuck at this boss for an hour. And
I was
I'm like,
fighting a boss that I definitely was under-leveled to fight, like by a mile.
Right.
Because if you can just parry everything,
Yeah.
you can kill any boss.
yeah.
Fair.
I mean, it was like one-shotting me as well. So
Yeah.
the levels, for a
got
boss like that, the levels did matter a little bit. But
What the fuck?
Your
you mean a
build
little
was
bit, bro?
so shit. Your build was
What
so
the fuck?
fucking shit.
Yeah, because I didn't need a good build. I just needed a parry. And I did beat him eventually.
you did.
Was Garnt the one that was backseating you in the chat?
He
You
might
built
have
shit.
He
His
might
aim
have
in
been.
max.
Nah, I was just
it took
laughing
me
at him.
3 hours. It took Garnt like 1.
No, it took me like 20 minutes, bro.
Yeah, if I was OP Garnt, I would destroy all the bosses easily. Okay, I got so much XP from that I kind of fucked up the rest of the game because I was so
really?
over leveled for like
shit.
everything. I realized that game is like, and I kind of wish that JRPGs had figured out a better way to handle the last boss scaling problem, because in like most. I feel like there should be adaptive scaling on the final boss. If you've done all the side content, I feel like the boss should be way stronger. Because in this game, I didn't do any of the side content, and then went against the final boss.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty tough fight. Like I was really struggling.
Yeah.
But I did get it done. But apparently people were saying like if I'd done any of the side content, I'd done a couple of it, I would have steamrolled it. People were like, yeah, I actually one-shot it because I did all the side content.
You know what's a great game
Which
for
happened
that?
in Final Fantasy as well.
You know what's a great game for that?
What?
Metaphor.
Well, really?
Yeah. No, I feel like Metaphor, it not only does it force you to do all of the side quests,
Okay.
but also by doing it, it perfectly gives you like just enough of an edge to potentially win. Like I feel the level curve in that game was like
Because
almost perfect.
all the JRPGs used to do this. You could not beat the boss without doing side quests first.
Oh,
like,
hell
it was
no.
like fucked.
Actually, the only RPG I've seen it do correctly, which I have never experienced again since. One of the hardest boss battles I did as a kid, at least, Tales of Vesperia.
Okay.
So if you do a certain piece of side content, which is a very, very hard boss fight, instead of making the final boss easier, it will just straight up add another phase to the final boss.
Yo, that's
And
that's
that
cool.
made it so fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like it like you do it because you're like, shit, I want the true boss battle experience. It went from a 2-phase boss battle to a 3-phase boss battle.
Right.
Holy fucking
That's
shit.
smart. Like
Did
add
it kick
more
my
epicness
ass.
to the
Yeah,
final
yeah,
fight.
yeah.
Because like I don't know what happened between 6 and 7. Because 7, I like one-shot Sephiroth, like because I did all the side content. And 6, when I was playing it, Pete was like, "Man, I really think you should do the side quests." And I was like, "Okay." And I got like the most OP shield in the game, and that final boss fight was fucking hard.
It's so
Like
hard.
if you don't do all the side quests, get all the OP shit, you get fucked. And it's the same with Chrono Trigger.
Yep.
Chrono Trigger. If I did all of the side quests, got all the OP legendary weapons, and I was still
hard.
struggling.
Yeah.
on
Right.
the final boss, and I was like, this feels like how it should be. Like
Yeah.
I should go against the final boss, get fucking trounced, and be like, all right, I'll go do the side quests. But I understand as well for brevity that like if you want to end it now, go ahead. If you want 15 more hours, go and play it.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I just wish there was a better way.
Yeah, because I like doing the side content before the
too.
final boss because
yeah.
I'm like,
yeah, me
after
too. 'Cause you want to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
hit the story highlight,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it feels awkward. Like I
Yeah.
feel like there needs to be a better system.
I
with,
don't want to do credits roll and being like, all right, I guess I'll go see this fucking side quest.
Yeah.
now."
Yeah.
Which is why that's my only gripe with the game is that I feel like I would love a way where I would need to go and do the side quests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also, if I did just go straight to the boss, that I guess like maybe some kind of scaling thing where. 'Cause
Tales of Vesperia. Add another face to the boss. That's,
I feel like that's
that is a smart way.
Yeah,
it's the only time I've ever experienced it, and genuinely was a fucking hard boss battle, and
Yeah.
made me. Yeah, I mean, it compelled me to do more of the side content as well. But
that's what you want, right? Like
Yeah.
a side quest should be optional, but also add to whatever you're building towards.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think obviously there's like, there's tons of different ways of doing it. Like I know that like in like Elden Ring, they just have random fucking god characters to the side that you can just beat if you want.
It's
But
like even in Elden Ring, it was a problem just because.
the final boss was so weak compared to the side bosses.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the final boss was nowhere near as hard as
Malenia,
but sometimes in Elden Ring, you discover a boss and then you realize, oh, I'm just really fucking overleveled for this.
Yeah, when you full hit a boss in Elden Ring,
Yeah.
it's so sad. You're like,
Yeah.
all right.
Aww,
all right,
like
I
you.
guess.
Oh, you had your own fucking cutscene, and then I just fucking one shot you
yeah.
because I was doing all this side content.
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, I'd love a bit more a way to maybe figure that out for like for like future RPGs, because I feel like this has become more common in RPGs where the side quest stuff is actually just fully optional,
yeah.
and it's like I don't want to be OP when I fight the boss.
Fair.
I want to have to fucking sweat.
Get on it, game designers.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean that's good. Dark Souls been playing for the first time. Peak fucking game, bro.
Dark Souls
wait, you
1?
actually?
Yeah, I'm playing Dark Souls 1 right now.
Since when?
I started like I'm like 30 hours in.
Oh shit. Okay.
About to finish it, but dude, everyone was telling me that the
Wait,
map-
you haven't finished? You haven't done the DLC for Elden Ring, but you've done Dark Souls?
Yeah, because I'm doing co-op. I'm doing co-op with Mouse.
Oh.
And a really talented modder made a seamless co-op mod,
Oh, cool.
and it works so good. You literally just like join your friend's world, and then you can literally do the whole game together.
Oh, cool.
Because the games do technically have co-op.
Yeah.
Elden Ring has co-op.
Yeah.
But what it is like you go into the boss room, summon your friend, he leaves, and like he doesn't get any of the story or any of that
Yeah,
stuff. So it's
yeah.
really like, I also feel like they should just add co-op. People clearly very much want co-op in these games.
People are very finicky with messing with Dark Souls. The
What do
Dark
you mean?
Souls
What do you mean?
formula. You know, sometimes
Oh,
you're like,
well,
there's an achievement to doing it by yourself, you see. You
No,
know,
I feel
it's-
like that's like, it should be like, that's the way it's intended. But I feel like it's just fucking fun to
Yeah.
take on a fucking giant boss.
Yeah.
And you just see your friend being flung around, and it's just kind of sick. I don't know. It's really fun.
Well, that's the best part about Monster Hunter.
Yeah, right.
that
I guess
like-
it's just Monster Hunter.
It's just
at
a
that
Monster
point.
Hunter
Yeah,
method.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like you could take on this giant fucking Rathalos by yourself, but watching your friend fucking come into
Yeah.
the rescue and
Yeah.
help you out,
And
is,
like-
that's
and-
what's best.
And like there are some bosses where like clearly having co-op kind of trivializes it. Like there are some bosses where like more of the humanoid bosses that are maybe doing really high attacks but not massive AoE. It's super kind of busted to have someone take
Yeah.
aggro and someone keep, because the bosses will immediately swap aggro.
yeah.
But against like the giant bosses, it feels it's just Monster Hunter, because you're kind of all getting AoE hit by everything, and it's
Yeah.
and the mod scales the enemies, so they have more health.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Based on how, and up to like 4 people can join.
Oh,
It's
shit.
so sick.
It's literally monsters.
It's so sick, and it works really well. We've been doing the whole game, and
Yeah.
it's so good. And man, the map design of Dark Souls 1 is kind of nuts. It's kind of insane how it might be like the coolest map layout I've ever seen.
I never finished it.
Dude, everything's connected.
Yeah.
Every single world you go to, you're like, damn, it's like way more impressive than Elden Ring in terms of like how well compressed everything is. So there's this kind of main keep area. And every single time you go to an area, you're like, there's a door and you're like, oh, I wonder where this door goes to. You somehow come out in the castle. You're like, what the fuck? Everything is connected in this castle. So can you show I think some people made a diagram of the Dark Souls map layout, like 3D. It's so cool. And every area, you're like, how is this connected so well? Oh, that second one.
Oh yeah, I've seen this. Yeah.
Maybe you can right click if you just open a new image.
There you go.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how it all connects so seamlessly.
Right.
And you'll be in an area that you're like, I'm so far away from where I started, but then you immediately come out and you're like in the same area.
Yeah.
It's really fun. The only thing that sucks about it, you have to do so much backtracking
Yeah.
because they didn't give you many bonfires, and you don't get fast travel until like 2/3 into the game.
Yeah.
And so you end up doing a lot of backtracking.
I mean, the one thing that I'm glad that has been optimized in Elden Ring, which I played a little bit of Dark Souls 3, never completed it, but sometimes one thing I really liked about Elden Ring, anytime you go to a boss, it's a hard boss, there's always a bonfire near it or right at the entrance.
yeah.
That's not always the case with the previous Dark
They didn't
Souls.
start doing that until like Elden Ring, I think.
Yeah. And I like some of these boss runs, I'm like, why do I need to
Dude,
run?
I have to walk like 5 minutes.
Yeah. I have to get past all these enemies just for the boss to fucking one-shot me.
And then you, like, your souls are in the room with the boss, right? So
Yeah.
every time you're walking back 5 minutes, there's a chance you die on the way and
Yeah.
lose all your souls.
Yeah.
And you're like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I think that's what originally made me rage quit Dark Souls 1, actually.
Yeah, and also, like, it's a little troll in the fact that, like, they don't really tell you where to go in the start.
Yeah.
And you could just accidentally go to, like, the hardest area in the game very easily. Because I remembered when I opened this game, I was like, oh shit, I played this game like 10 years ago. And I remember I went immediately to the catacombs and I rage quit after about 5 minutes because I was like, this game fucking sucks. Because the moment you go to the catacombs, you just get your shit handed to you.
Yeah.
And none of the enemies die.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what the fuck is this game, man? And you have this dog shit weapon that the game doesn't fucking tell you anything about. And you're like, this fucking sucks. But I've been really enjoying it. It's really fucking good. Really impressed with just how insane this game is.
So you're going to go through all the games now?
Probably at some point. I'm in no rush to jump into 2.
Yeah. I'm very, very excited. I'm probably going to do Sekiro after I finally do the Elden Ring DLC.
Sekiro might be next for me in the Souls, I think.
Yeah.
Still haven't done the DLC for Elden Ring. Just can't be bothered
You can't be bothered?
to get back into my character and stuff.
I'm so excited. The only reason I haven't done it is because I want to marathon it and I haven't just had 3 days free.
I am going to
in a
do
row.
it. Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's fucking 3 days. It's
Yeah.
like a whole game. I got to just wait and cook.
Yeah.
You know.
But I'll get there eventually.
I will get to it eventually.
Yeah.
I will do it.
And
It'll
Joey's gonna play Expedition 33.
I'll get to it eventually. I'll get to
Right?
it eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, but Dark Souls Peak, man.
Yeah.
Play it. The remastered is amazing.
Oh,
really
yeah.
good. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
But,
That's been us. That's been Trash Taste.
That's what we've been up to.
Yep.
Hey, look at all these patrons, though. What have you
Amazing
guys been up
patrons.
to? Why don't you let us know
Beautiful.
down in the comments? Hope you guys have been well. And hey, by the way, if you do follow us over on the Patreon, not only will you be supporting the show, but also you get to watch weekly Patreon exclusive content just for you guys over on the Patreon. We have a brand new one that you guys can go check out right after this one. Mudan, play a clip of that.
This is satisfying already.
That is the entire point of the game.
Oh,
It is to be satisfying.
sounds like you're peeing right now, Joey. 2% clean.
But hey, if you want to check that out and support the show in the process, head on over to patreon.com/trash taste. Also follow us on Twitter, send us some memes on the subreddit, and if you hate our face, listen to us on Spotify. And we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.